Hello, hello.
Yo, what is up, my friend?
Not too much. It's a nice Wednesday night for some League of Legends action. Excited to get back on the cast with you. I think I know we casted finals correctly. I feel like we've done like 1 or 2 other games.
Yeah, I think it was me, you, and Hairwick actually for the finals. I kind of just did more producing, if anything, and let you two go at it. So, yeah, it's very rare that me and you get to cast, my friend. So it's absolutely an honor.
Oh yeah. No, I haven't really casted too much this season. Hopefully get through a few more playoff games. Should be a good matchup though. Looking forward to it.
It should.
I'm gonna just be wrapping up a few more things for work, and then I'll be ready by the time select starts.
You good, man? Take your time. Take your time. We got the other two goats, our pies and Hairwick with the other series going on. Are you inclined? That you are.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need to be invited. I think it may be easier if you just stream it, like on Discord. Thoughts on that?
I could probably pull that off. I think my PC will do that.
Okay.
Me. See, you're on the client. You don't want an invite?
I don't know. I think I'll go off the stream. I think that'll be easiest to keep things synced.
Okay.
Actually, I'll join for Draft Link for game 1, and then I'll just leave during. There, could you drop the invite real quick? Thank you.
Oh, D1. Okay, I see you.
And we're there.
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta hover around that until like season end, and then play a really sweaty like 5 games to try to push Masters.
Ah.
Kind of the routine.
See, I'm going the other way. I'm just practicing champs, and I don't care how much I tank my LP.
Yeah, that's fair. Understandable. And probably for the better as well.
Yeah. Yep. Might
What's
see.
the latest CLT's been cooking up in the kitchen?
There's a couple of things. I can bring back some old cook like the Jin or the Karthus, but yeah. But no, just playing a few more different mages that I need to bust out. So stuff like a Victor, get better at the Aurora. You know, just stuff that help me next time I'm in sweat.
Yeah.
So.
Fair enough.
Alright, let me see. Everything's set up. Looky here, we doing alright.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'm extremely excited for this matchup. This is going to be a bloody one.
Yeah. Are we live?
We are live, good sir.
Okay.
We are live on the YouTube. So
nice. Yeah, I think it should be a good one. I know Hairwick's put together a nice little prediction video for the Midwest Weekly. I don't know how many people got around to watching that, but I have this one going the distance, and I'm giving the edge to Coinflip as well.
I took the Hashira, and I took it in 4 games. I do think this could very easily go the distance. Don't get me wrong. But we shall see. I think the Hashira matches up very well. They also like a bloody, like solo queue-esque kind of style of game. So, but also Coinflip just hasn't looked very Coinflip. For those that have been around for a while. So they've coin flipped a lot more 50-50s to where I feel like they try to create advantages and then just go for the fights there. But oh, I see we got an OG Krieger in the chat here supporting his boys from Coinflip. So Krieger was their former mid laner. I had the pleasure of laning against him, and I don't want to do that again.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I remember playing a few games against him too. I think they
Good
player on that squad.
Oh yeah, I got nothing but love for them.
You got thoughts on this first phase of bans here? Morgana Caitlyn bans are Jump and Anivia bans. Those are 3 kind of funkier champions coming out here that Hashira just don't want to play against in the first bit.
I was about to note that the Ivern was up when you asked about the ban phase, and look at this denial pick. Okay, I'm with this. Yeah, I think if there's one thing Hashira took away from the previous series against Coinflip is get the int off the map. This is yeah, that's something. But no, the Morgana and Anivia bans are definitely targeted at Arresto, their mid laner. He is an avid Anivia player like myself, but he's shown a lot of comfort on the Morgana as well. So
Yeah, I like those bans personally. I feel like for Hashira, key to them this series is going to be unlocking the early game and snowballing through there. I feel like Coinflip's early games have not been too strong, so that's kind of their potential edge, and that's going to happen through the mid jungle for them. So getting rid of some of those stabilizing picks in the Morgana and the Anivia is a good look. And then the Ivern, yeah, that's got to be a pure denial pick. I don't really see that as an Akaza champion, but get rid of it, and then we'll see how it goes, I guess. There's Pantheon Zaya locked in for Coinflip as well. Two very strong skirmishers.
well, we talk about it not being an Akuza champion, but they picked their support early here, so no funny business with an Ivern support. Still a chance of it going top lane, but I think it's probably safe to say the Ivern is going jungle.
Yeah, I think the Braum pick, it's a little early, but I think it's fine. It plays well into Zaya, and it generally plays well into the champions that GeoPro gravitates towards. So I think that's a fine pick to go for. And the Jinx is just rounding out a very solid team fight comp for the side of Hashira. Coinflip with the Syndra, though. I like that as a blind pick. Good, solid control mage, you know, keeps you in it with some of the late game scaling that Hashira is looking to do. It gives a very clear targeted Jinx missile, which is kind of how this game is shaping up to be off of the first round of draft.
I was gonna note there that Syndra being picked probably means there's going to be a Fizz ban, and they definitely pulled the trigger on that. Guillaume is a fantastic melee mid player. Doesn't have the wide champion pool, say like another specialist comes to mind, Rurika, but he is not afraid to get very offensive with his picks and playstyle.
Yeah,
so
I think that's fair. I almost would have liked, you know, I'm not sure on Aristotle's champ pool, and maybe they were a little bit concerned of it getting pinched, but I think I would have liked a support pick on 3 and a mid pick on 4. Is that an actual misban or Rakan? Yeah, just gonna point that out. A Nautilus ban, when you already have Brahms, a bit interesting. You know, you kind of want to play into engage. What you don't want to play into is range support. So stuff like the Rakan and some even more spice, the Bard. Big fan of the Chime Minister.
I was about to say, we got the Bard Master himself on the cast here, getting himself a Bard game in. So, yeah, like you and Mark Cutie, if I ever see any of you two on Bard, I'm like, I don't want to play the game because you're just gonna be everywhere. So
yeah, I think that's kind of the similar approach that Coinflip is taking. This is going to be a very potent kind of support jungle. Bard Pantheon should steamroll Ivern Braum, and then it's honestly it's a super Bard game. You have an immobile AD carry. They just locked in, and a relatively immobile mid, and a low range top laner as well. I mean, these Tempered Fates should be able to eat, or at the very least, you know, force some flashes. I think this is a great look for one of the studs on Coinflip's side, and a Malphite to round it out.
Okay.
We got our game 1 draft in the books.
I do like this Malphite here at the R5. Very just aggressive pick, very great lane into Gnar, and overall, like, it's the Hashira can absorb engages, but there's a lot of setup between Bard, Malphite, Syndra stun, Pantheon coming over the top. It's there's a lot of shit getting thrown at them.
Oh yeah. I mean, kind of exactly as expected. Looking like a pretty chaotic setup for both teams here. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I guess I should have let them know I was doing that.
Yeah, it's all good.
I find it easier to keep things synced in case, the biggest thing is like, especially in a scrappy game like this, I want to see replays if we get the chance, and that's really tough to do synced up. I could see us watching back some of these fights. But...
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. If you want to call for a replay, feel free to ask for it, my friend.
Oh,
who's that polar bear they banned? That is a volley bear.
And so, we got a lot of Coinflip love in the chat.
Yeah. Yep, Coinflip is fan favorites amongst the leagues. They are the nicest group of people in the world. Got a chance to play some flex with them last split. Super nice guys. And then subbed for the Hashira a few times. Again, some pretty nice people as well. They're much quieter, but they're mechanically a very sound group of guys. So I got much love for both teams here.
Yeah. So, I mean, looking at the draft, who you got favored right now for this game one?
Oh, wow. Let me go back over here to the draft. Oof. I like Coinflip's draft. I think this is a much better prototypical like Coinflip draft. Hashira does have some tools to take like spread out team fights or much slower paced team fights, but Coinflip has set up on a lot of different levels, and I don't think Jinx is going to spike quick enough to really start playing front to backs through this Pantheon or Malphite. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I mean, I favor Coinflip here, draft wise. I think the only maybe awkward piece is Bori's Xayah. Not really peeling yourself against anything, which is typically what you think of Xayah. But everywhere else, I mean, you have so many tools here to kill the Jinx, which is very clearly the center of Hashira's comp. Just based off round one and then drafting, a bit of a skirmishing set of solo laners, but most of the damage is going to be carried by the Jinx here. I expect top lane to be relatively neutralized by the Malphite, so not really expecting to see this 1-3-1 come to fruition. I expect it to be full 5v5s action, and then you look at the Bard, the Malphite, the Syndra, all these team fight tools that you have on the side of Coinflip. I think that's going to be enough for them to usher in a comfortable mid to late game. But, we will see. Hashira, I think especially with Akaza at the helm, really good at getting some early leads. That's something I've picked up on the few games I've watched. I haven't watched quite as many Hashira games as I have some of the other teams in the league. I wonder, I have that question mark if the Ivern is going to at all, I guess, hinder that compared to what they usually play with Akaza on these skirmishy champs, kind of like the Wukong, the Xin, that I'm sure we'll see in these coming games.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair point, that a lot of these leads and skirmishes do stem from Akaza quite a bit. And him being on Ivern, I don't think he has that type of pace as far as in the fights or the calls to make with that. And I also feel like he doesn't have a great early game carry to play through. Like your solo laners do take, Nard does take an item or two to get up, but also he's in a counter matchup, so I don't know how much of an advantage is going to be. And then you've got Ryze and Jinx, who are standard like 2.5, 3 item carries to get kind of online. So it's going to be interesting. And with that note, like Syndra is still a very solid scaling champ. Xayah is a crit based AD carry. It's going to be interesting overall.
Yep. So CLT, how much of the other series are you going to be watching while this series happens?
Man,
going to be fully locked in.
I think I'm going to be fully locked in. I would love to tune into the other series. Don't get me wrong. Rurika's a homie. I've done a lot of 1v1s with him. He's a shown me and helped me a lot, and I've actually taught him a couple of mages. So Rurika is a good dude, but I also really have a lot of respect for Good Boy and Instinct. So Good Boy is definitely one I go back and watch as far as like mage play. So I got respect for both teams, but you know, we in it here. It's the top four. It's the top 4 teams for a reason. Number 1 and number 2s from each group.
Yep, I only brought it up to confirm that I would be locked in for the game. I have it on the side for Champ Select here. It's already a close game 1, but it's going to switch back once we get into game here. Just a few more seconds on the spectator delay. We're excited to see mostly how this early game develops, but beyond that, I guess how these teams are going to scrap it out in the mid game, if things are going to play a little more towards the side lane, because I think that's what Hashira set themselves up for with the second phase of draft, is a very comfortable 1-3-1 setup. And how Brandino is mainly going to respond to that. I think a lot of this game is going to be on the support jungle of Coinflip to get them some leads early.
Yeah. I just think comfort for comfort. I think Hashira kind of picked a little bit away from what they've done as far as being like a very skirmish heavy river fight team, and Coinflip kind of picked for that, and they did not. So I'm really I think focusing on Brandino is going to be very, very key here. He's on the Pantheon. He can make a lot of plays around the map here, especially post level 6, but him and Geoprow are gonna just cause havoc all over this map, and then Xayah is still gonna be a very safe AD carry post level 6 for any type of dives or anything like that. So I think if you're Hashira, you're gonna want to try and get one, maybe try to sneak a second dragon in, just to let this game try to go a little bit later. But we shall see.
Here we go.
Alright. Time controls off. We are good. How's the view from your side, my friend?
Perfect.
Sweet.
If it slows down too much, I can go ahead and jump into a spectate and we can sync up, but no issues at all yet with the frames and the lag.
Yep, everything looks
5-man setup.
Good on the stream side. I think we're alright here.
See, making their way in here. This Braum is behind though, and Matthias in the river pixel bush rather than the tri bush. So big old nothing burger there. First minute, just probably an exchange of deep wards that are going to come through. Help track this Pantheon through the first few camps of clearing.
Oh, they're looking here potentially.
It's a spicy 3v3. I don't know if either side wants to take this, just because if Braum gets passive stack, but Rise is kind of pincering. Matthias maybe a bit caught up here. Rise with the W start for the slow. The follow-up slow going to catch from Braum, and the stun comes through. Matthias forced to flash out early and taking half his health bar in the process. That top lane's off to a great start for Gyu.
That is pretty big, honestly, for the Gnar, as that's the one thing Malphite is really good at, is like trading health bar for health bar, because he can just regenerate the shield with his passive in these matchups. But him being half health, might want to start chugging a pot here soon.
Yeah, I'm expecting him to have to like blow that TP early to help keep even. Bot lane gonna get the push here for Coinflip. That's kind of to be expected. You have double range into one melee, one ranged. We'll see how junglers adapt to these lane states though.
See, it's a Guardian on the Braum here. I would have thought being ranged versus the Braum, he might have taken something a little more offensive.
Yeah, especially for GeoPro, you know. It's Guardian's always the safest option, but if you really want to throw the gauntlet down, you can go for something like the Electrocute and have some crazy burst damage. You know, I don't think that's too crazy to ask for when you have someone who runs PTA Leona. But
Oh yeah.
a safe pick, and you know, will help keep the rest of his team alive through what can be otherwise more harmful trades. Don't hate it.
Remember, this guy plays the Aurora support too. Like, he's full-blown offensive most of the times.
Exactly that.
See an invade here, actually, for the Pantheon.
Yeah, he is going to get it. Well played to Brandino. It looks like action breaking out onto Akaza. Pantheon into the Ivern. Very strong early. Ivern forced to flash away on the minimap. Directed camera doing us a little dirty as Akaza looks like he dropped down to, you know, sub 50 health there, just barely getting out. And Brandino's getting himself off to a good lead because he's going to be able to take this whole bot side of the map. And if you slow down Ivern's first clear, Ivern's going to be in a lot of trouble going forward because that's usually when you're safest.
Yeah, we're looking at probably a 3-buff start. Ivern does get a constellation prize with his top scuttle. But yeah, Brandino already starting his pace off. It's game 1.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that is, you know, I guess planned. Great shield by Tengen. That's, you know, not necessarily what I had in mind when you think, hold that thought, Gyu with a great trade in the top lane, but doesn't quite extend it as Brandino hovering in between here. Gonna get caught by the stun. Deborah Morgan trying to chunk him down. There comes that Guardian. Brandino still sticking around, gets caught to the root, and in comes the follow-up. Doesn't get the flash over the wall. First bullet over to Tengen. And Jinx is it sighted. Deborah Morgan hitting over the wall, trying to keep herself alive as Akaza's peppering down the Bard, who's forced to flash out. Bori gets stunned, and the chase.
Oh!
That Root Caller comes through for at least one trade kill, but Akaza still in the area, should be able to finish this one up. Bori trying to kite it out. It's very tense 1v2 here for the Xayah. Root Caller misses, and with no mana, that should be enough for Deborah and Akaza to finish the job.
Oh,
both
maybe?
Falling Bori. Deborah
Oh!
Oh my goodness, Bori! Triple kill for the Xayah just 4 to 5 minutes in. And all of a sudden, Coinflip find themselves in a phenomenal early game position.
Early feats of combat there picked up basically by just Bori alone. Geoprod does get an assist on that, but the minions played a massive part into that duel. But well played for Bori, noticing the shield was on Ivern and he turned his attention over to Deborah Morgan on the Jinx.
I mean, phenomenal. Minions and red buff making the difference there. It looked really good for the Hashira on the onset of that play. You know, a bit of an overextension from Brandino trying to steal those Krugs. Gets punished for it. But some heroics out of Bori. I mean, the Root Caller flash to get the Braum kill. And then kiting out that very tense 1v2 to come out on top despite all odds. That X-Finals MVP kind of showing up when it matters most. That clutch factor coming in. But Brandino sitting around the bot site still, looking to continue to accelerate this Xayah.
That's a BF sword plus a call on Xayah here. Oh, nice set of traps. Ooh, nice wall.
Traps hit. Yeah, that's the Braum Xayah interaction I kind of had in mind. Earlier, he shielded backwards to block the root, but if you just shield forward in the first place, off the Q, off the empowered autos, those feathers will land in front of you rather than behind you, and so you can't really have them hold backwards. They're not going to go anywhere, but, I mean, Xayah with the triple kill, BF Sword Cole already. You know, this bot lane was always favored, but now that they have this extra lead, you can see just how much they're able to bully this Coinflip bot lane. As another kill over to Bori. He's level 6 on this Xayah. Marching forward, Rise looking to TP in, trying to get something back as the root comes through. A great layering from Deborah Morgan, but it's not going to be enough to kill GeoPro. Just gets on out of there. Drake over to Brandino, and Syndra able to farm as well. Oh, but a flash forward onto the Xayah is reacted accordingly with the Feather Storm. So Bori, I mean, he's just running circles around the Hashira so far. And continuing to dominate this early game.
Yeah, I see Gyu here in the top lane. Forcing Matthias' flash again. Oh!
Again!
Oh.
You just barely not closing out that solo kill. I mean,
Oh, that had to have been sub 20 HP there on Matthias. Oh, that's a feels bad. Oh, we see the amp tome coming out of him on his first back, so I would predict probably Malignance into tank.
yeah, I think I'd expect the same.
Yeah, there's Lost Chapter, so definitely I'm pretty confident it's going to be Malignance here. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Because your role's not to bring extra damage, it's just strictly frontline.
Yeah, I think I would have liked something a little safer. Stack up the armor, make Gnar's life miserable, because by this point of the game, this Jinx is already so far behind that the initial game plan of kill the Jinx almost goes to the wayside for a bit. You're trying to stave off this 1-3-1. But Akaza and the rest of the Hashira are going to look to pick up the first 3 grubs. Not going to be a response. That's going to be a nice pickup for them. Gonna help usher in that 1-3-1 I've been kind of talking about. Are going to continue to lose more in the bottom lane over to Bori.
My lord, look at this CS diff already. Oh,
brutal.
Yeah, this is... Hashira is going to have to start relieving some of this pressure, turn it to top side of the map here. 3 grubs does help Gnar on the early split. I think Gnar, if he can space correctly, can kind of fight AP Malphite here for a little bit. It's not until he builds armor.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of see that. The damage is great from Matthias, but without too much armor, the trades on the way back from Gyu, very favorable. Geopro, I mean, he's just going to get to run at them for relatively free. Pantheon is level 6, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on as well.
Oh!
Ulti from Matthias comes in.
Alright, I'll shut up.
Goes the Yordle. But action in the bot side. Flash stun onto the Jinx. As the action continues, 2-man stun out of Aristotle. He pops the Daisy on top of them for good measure. Bori marching forward.
Bori's feeling it.
The shield comes through from Oxa. That's not going to be enough. Grand Starfall for extra chase, though. Not going to be enough for Brandino, who falls under tower. Coinflip going in way deep here.
That's the flip.
Not going to matter too much, though. Yeah, I mean, there it is.
Rise coming down. Has Realm Warp. TP coming out from here.
But he's going into 3, and yes, Gyu's in the area, but Bori trying
Oh,
to...
nice shield!
Wyvern shields come in clutch. Aristotle caught on the backside as well, and a flash in from Gyu. Gonna get some more kills back from Coinflip. Once again, this squad, Brandino, Aristotle, Bori, all of them chasing way deep, utilizing so many resources there, and Hashira with a great punish accordingly. Now Bori with no mana has this 400 gold.
Oh!
This is massive for Gyu. Picks up 2 kills on this teleport down, and 2 big kills at that.
And he's gonna pick
clapping back.
Yeah, and he's gonna end up taking a plate here for his effort. Jinx rotated down, no plate mid. Matthias though probably picking up a plate top lane, so that part is evened out, and we're looking at just about a 400 gold advantage here for Coinflip now.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta think that was just a bit much of an overchase. You had this good initial window off of that 2-man stun from Aristotle. Threw the Daisy over top for some extra damage too. But then you force some flashes out and you continue to give chase under both towers into an Ivern and Braum, which have a deceptive amount of survivability, and I think that's what cost Coinflip there. Hashira able to stay alive for a little bit.
There's got to be a little taste of your own medicine feeling coming out of Akuza, because that is a malignance on this Ivern.
Yeah, I think he's learning from the best, huh?
He's just he's sending it here, which I can totally respect. Rise is going to be super delayed on this Roa. Second drag going to Coinflip here.
Yeah, Matthias did TP down. It's like pretty early, so he's going to give over another plate or 2 over to this 3 grubs Gnar. So a little bit of a trade-off on both sides, but overall worth for Coinflip as they pick up this second Drake. Going to help him scale into the late game. So it looks like we are going to be getting there, you know, with these fights lasting so long and going so back and forth. Matthias with an ult in the top lane, but not quite too much damage at this stage of the game.
No, Akuza though is up here. Here is the Daisy. And Rise is up here as well.
Oh. No Malphite ult as well. Should be a pretty simple dive job. The chain CC follows. Matthias doesn't get the flash out as Brandino was coming in with that ulti, so at least someone picks up the wave. Punishment going over. Accordingly though, you know, these teams have been great at cross mapping. As Aristotle, he's going to pick up another plate or two for himself as well. Rise electing not to ulti back to that mid tower. So a lot of just little advantages traded back and forth as teams continue to overload different sides of the map.
I'm okay with him holding on Realm Wars because he's looking the back here soon. He's completed his row. He's sitting on about 2,000 gold now. So if the intent is to just mass clear the wave, push it, and then Realm War back the lane off the row back, then I like it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. This bot lane, I mean, Deborah is absolutely eating it, and Ori and GeoPro are just going to continue to push in waves here, keep the pressure up. They honestly want like a gank to come and to try to play the 3 versus 2. But until that happens, they're just going to continue to harp down on this tower. No plates up now, so they should be able to get that sometime soon. Both junglers in the bottom side of the map. We'll see if anything long breaks out here. But yeah, this Jinx is already just at like, you know, a couple hundred health after taking a few Xayah QEs to the face.
Jinx is almost 2k behind Xayah right now.
This is insane. Where's the lead for the Hashira? Is it just on Gnar?
There is, yeah, roughly a lead on Gnar, and lead in the jungle. Akuza is a little bit of gold ahead, roughly almost a 1k there, about 1800 top side, about 2k in the bot lane favor of Coinflip. So
yeah, I mean, you just like the leads better on Coinflip's characters though. You know, if you're Hashira, you wanted this lead on the Jinx. Lead on Ivern only goes so far, even if you are going this Malignance AP build. And the Gnar is eventually going to be neutralized once Matthias builds armor. But for now, getting collapsed on, tries to Unstoppable Force out, but a few more chain CC abilities coming in from Hashira. Going to be a great punish onto the rock of the top lane for Coinflip. And they're turning their eyes towards the Herald.
yeah, with the turret falling though in the bot lane, that's first turret and the full feats of strength boots going over to Coinflip. As even though the gold's pretty close, I think they're feeling really happy about this game overall. You got feats, you got 2 dragons here. Yeah, this is looking really good so far for them.
They got that mid tower too off the Rift Herald play.
Oh, they did. Oh, Deborah! Deborah trying some sneaky, some sneaky shit here. Tried to flash auto Pantheon. I don't either. I don't.
It got Pantheon's flash, so you know, it may look a little funky, but not at all an in play. Trade of flashes from Akuza and Aristotle as well. So flash is getting burned in 1 minute for Tildish Drake. Something to keep an eye on, as I expect Hashira maybe draw a line in the sand here. Go for it before Coinflip puts themselves on Soul Point.
Yeah, it's 6 to 10 on Blood Roses here, so not much to make a difference. Yeah. So, look at the levels. There's not much discrepancy. A level lead in the mid lane, but they're both past level 11, so 2 points in ult here. Bori having a 2nd point in his ult is going to feel really good against the Jinx. Support levels are matched here. Supports mirroring items. Oh my lord, Xayah's on IE now. Oh.
Yeah, 2 item Xayah on IE. Still has the flash up as well, so you know, not sure how Coinflip are going to get through that, but maybe just try to play the front to back, get Deborah on a reset. Dragon is up. is some posturing over the mid lane. Brandino going in a bit deep for the stun here. Gets caught up by the root, then the stun. Tempered Fate goes wide as well as Brandino way caught out. Not quite going to get his life over though as Aerostone on the side blows him up, followed by the follow-up from Coinflip. And it is Raps. Looking for the ace of Coinflip. Ulti from Gyu to try to turn it back.
Oh my!
Yes, they get 2 from the Rise. It's not going to be quite enough to clean house though. With the 2 carries of Hashira, Deborah and Akaza, not really 2 carries, they just got blown up at the start. It looked like a bit of a misposition from Brandino, but the team in the area to follow up. And that is going to be sole point over to Coinflip.
I think Guillaume could walk down here. I think he underestimates the amount of tankiness that are in the Pantheon Syndra combo, but he's looking here at Matthias. Interesting take on the Realm Warp, but Matthias does get out here. So, yeah, massive fight start from Coinflip, but Giyu and Guillaume, though, really turning that around and getting at least something out of it. Gold leads about 1.8k in favor of Coinflip, but like you mentioned, they're on the sole point now.
Yeah, and I mean, you see just the idea of the comps in these fights. I mean, that was with no Tempered Fate and with minimal Pantheon follow-up. That was literally just Syndra Malphite blowing up Ivern and Jinx respectively. One-man Malphite ult, and then, you know, obviously Syndra ulti is just one person. But that's all they need, and, you know, once Xayah gets more involved and the support jungle are able to layer their abilities a little more coordinated with the team, these team fights are just so hard for Hashira to play. We'll see if Rise is kind of able to clutch. Is there any way to turn off the, I know they have spectator mode on, and that's why it's showing up as Rise versus Yome. No way around that?
No, I don't believe there is.
Alright, I'll try to keep it in mind. You know, want to show the name love versus just champion names. Sometimes you just read what's on your screen. But
yeah,
I think it's going to be some heroics out of the solo laners, Guillaume and Gyu, to be able to try to thwart off what is a great team fight from Coinflip. But Otacon now up, that's going to change the landscape of things too.
Yeah, for sure. See tier 4 boots coming out of the bot lane for Coinflip. Jungle's still behind on item for Coinflip, but everybody else is doing quite well. Resto getting stunned up here. Got the ult coming out. Yeah, flash stun.
And another Tempered Fate. Just a little wide. But Otacon started up, 9k. You know, if Usher can play this, maybe it's way back in, but the TP coming in from Malphite, it's going to be a 5 versus 4. 5k on the Otacon. They do have the Xayah secure alongside the jungler. 2k on the Otacon. They're backing up, leashing it a little bit, but the ulti comes on through from Malphite. Otacon goes over to Coinflip, and chaos ensues. 2-man stun from Aristotle on the backside. Gonna let Coinflip march on forward. Yes, Deborah gets excited, but she's just running out. Flashing out, but it's not going to be enough. As Grand Starfall giving chase, but the Feather's going to connect for that final kill. Yome can do nothing but watch yet again. Poor children slaughtered alongside the blind man. Try to Demon Slayer reference that one. But Coinflip picking up another great team fight for themselves.
Yeah, I think that was probably your quote-unquote best fight there, with a lot of the resistances getting shredded here. But ultimately, it's just, there's a lot of just go buttons getting picked off. Well, we see a fight prompted here.
I think Matthias is maybe just dead, but never mind, the Braum passive doesn't get triggered, so he's able to walk out of that.
I thought there was flash auto for the stun, and then Narm back into the team was kind of what I was seeing there, but didn't want to waste the flash cooldown. Gnar cooldown is very, very low, 43 seconds. So
yeah, it's just not looking like enough gas in this game one here. Coinflip continuing to scale up. You know, even the Rise, who's looked pretty strong in some of these close range fights. Half an item behind the Syndra. So maybe you try to get back to this side lane as Gyu forces the flash at Earth.
Yeah, I think
a little win that you take.
Yeah, I think you take the little wins on the side lane as you brought up. You're sitting on 3 grubs here. You've got a 2.5 item Gnar here with Black Cleaver, so he can at least put up a decent fight. But we're looking at Coinflip prompting here. Uh-oh, time to run.
An early TP. I mean, you still have Gnar with time to hit this top tower, expecting one objective bounty to go over. You know, Gyu going to be able to stack up Mega for himself as well, but this is Soul, so gotta think Hashira have to fight it. It's going to be tough to make their way in, though.
The problem is
what the call is.
There's no champ that can really run in. Oh, big Tempered Fate!
It connects. They're deciding not to pull the trigger as, just like Hashira, they're just going for the objective bounties. They're seeding the Soul as Bori and Brandino picking that one up. And Deborah and the rest of the squad marching forward. Realmore but this just off on the ulti. And those 3 grubs, that's going to be enough to pick up an inhib. Jinx excited, so
yeah, but Coinflip's in this area. They're going to have to fight their way. Well, no, Malphite, no ult here.
And he's getting caught out. Jinx getting the first kill, getting excited. So
Pantheon in.
Back as Gyu jumps over the wall. Brandino 1 versus 4 in the backside. Still picks up 1, but the stun comes on through. And now Bori's able to hit on back. And with no Jinx, that's just about all the damage Hashira have in this game 1. Rise yet again walking away from a defeated team fight. Gonna be able to make it out as the Roa comes on in for a little bit of flair. Creative macro out of Hashira though. Rise gonna fall for the ace. You know, they were able to get a decent chunk back there and a good window for a fight yet again, but somehow this Pantheon just staying alive with that shield through a 1 versus 4, still picking up 1 as well, and then buying enough space for the carries of Coinflip to carry them over.
The other really good thing about this in the favor of Hashira is it was so early for this macro trade they couldn't go after the Baron here. Baron just now spawning. So I think Baron really puts the favor in the Coinflip here, as there's not the greatest amount of wave clear outside of Rise for Hashira. So, but that, I mean, for being pretty behind in this game, that was a really good flip and a macro decision out of Hashira.
Very quickly too. Like, that's a snap decision. If you do that even just a little bit later, that doesn't turn into an inhib for you. So really good capitalization out of the Hashira. And, you know, I'd call it a successful punish from Coinflip. But that's mostly a reactive play. You know, you get the soul and then you collapse afterwards. Just keep yourself in that good position to win the game. And, you know, 25 minutes in, they're going to turn their eyes towards the Baron now. And that should really help them put the stamp on this game 1.
Yeah, I'd like to see them posture after this Baron, but I still think they feel like they just got to let it go and just try to play it slow, though. Tempered Fate coming out on the Rise here.
Shield coming through, and in comes Brandino looking for some action. One-man Malphite ult is going to be enough this time. Deborah Morgan following suit. The Ivern with a 5-man knockup, why not? The Malignant's doing a little bit of work, but it's not going to be enough. Syndra ult for good measure. Coinflip going to be able to run over this fight here. You TPing in, it's not going to be enough though. You see Tengen dropping the GG. I don't know if death timers are quite long enough for that to be the case right now.
They try to surrender vote.
But you got to imagine that one's pretty much it. See how well these team fights go for Coinflip. They now have the Baron. They have Soul. You looking to trade something back, but I don't even know if
okay.
It does. It does have enough damage, so picks up 1. Respawns coming on in for Hashira. Not going to be quite enough though. Coinflip hitting as a unit. And in relatively dominant fashion, take a convincing game 1.
Yeah, well played. Just very good game 1 statement out here by Coinflip. That looked a lot like the Coinflip we're accustomed to seeing there. They picked skirmish comps, and where I thought the Hashira really matched up into them, they really didn't pick much skirmish back. And Coinflip just kind of got the chance to run around the map. The early triple kill from Bori in the bot lane Like BF sort of level 4, 5 was insane.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, you don't even. It's not. The Zaya didn't really win them the game there, but when you have the Jinx just set so far behind, we saw a few glimpses into some of Hashira's creative team fighting, and pathing to keep themselves in it, but so tough when the bulk of your late game assurance in that Jinx is already gone. Now that the Ivern's off the board, though, I'm looking forward to, seeing Akaza on what we've seen him on all split. Something more traditional, something like the Wukong, Xin Zhao, something that can skirmish a bit more, and we'll see how that kind of changes the landscape for the rest of this series. It is going to be a long one, best of 5.
Yeah, for sure. I think the thing that stands out for me from Hashira taking looking back at that game is going to be some of the snap macro decisions. We noted the realm warp for top lane after getting the 2 turrets and getting the inhib to try and stall the game. But looking at the draft, there is a lot of predominantly coin flip picks that were removed there. The stuff like the Malphite, the Syndra, the Pantheon getting away from Brandino, but then like the Ivern, the Braum taken away from Geoprow. But there is some picks for the Hashira that are also off the table now. Like Guillaume, I think is he hadn't had a single loss on the rise from what I remember, and then the Ivern being the big kind of flexible pick taken away from Coinflip, as both Brandino and Matthias play it very well.
Yep. I'm going to take this opportunity to take a quick little between game break myself, grab some water, go to the restroom, but I'll be back in a few.
Not a problem. Sorry about that. I forgot to move over to game 2 on the draft. So, sorry about that. It's a text message. So, let me just mute that so that doesn't go off. Okay, here we go into game 2. Bans are looking very similar here, though. Let's see what the Hashira bans on the third side since Ivern is off the table. Coinflip getting rid of Guillaume's LeBlanc and Deborah Morgan's Hui, and Caitlyn taken away from Hashira, which I believe was the same ban from game 1. So that's the only downside I do think about Fearless is the bans always end up being the same, but we shall see. So Coinflip gets the B1 here, and we have the B1 Nautilus, which is a interesting pick. I wonder if that's a flex. I mean, Coinflip plays everything in every role, so It would not surprise me if that is a potential top jungle support pick here. So we'll see what the Hashira pick here. And this is a little more of what I wanted to see. You've got Akuza on a Xin Zhao, a very hands check fightery style champion. So let's see what they pair it with. Xin Zhao's typically very good with enchanters. So I don't think that is Tengen's style in the bot lane. That's not saying that they can't play it, but we see a Leona pick. So as Nexis noted, the press the attack aggressive Leona style coming out of Geoprow, getting denied here a little bit from the Hashira. So I love the intricacies in the drafts between these two teams. They really showed that they did their homework and that they respect a lot of these picks that they're willing to try and deny pick champs. Jax coming out here. I don't know if I've seen Matthias ever play Jax. I know Brandino is accustomed to playing it, so let's see if that remains pretty flexible here. Let's see what this mid pick is going to be. And we've got Aristotelia and Swain. Sorry if I butchered that pronunciation, but Aristo's Swain and the Silas coming out for the Hashira here. So that's either, that has to be Guillaume's Silas here, which is a insane answer against Swain here. I akin this to almost like Silas versus Malphite, where just Silas uses his ult so much better than the actual champion. But there is a world where Swain can push him in and play pretty aggressive in the early parts of the laning phase to create advantages here into the Silas.
This is more like it.
Mm-hmm.
I am back, and I'm excited to see what I'm coming back to.
Ooh.
Kind of what you expect coming into this series. We got Xin, Leona, Nautilus, Jax, Swain, Silas. I mean, every champ here is looking to scrap it out and let it just come down to whoever has the better hands.
Yeah, I am concerned a little bit with Hashira. If this Swain does get off the ground, that isn't the 3 melee showing right now. Swain's typically akin to like Kassadin or even Silas to a degree, where if your AD carry feels behind, these champions are very difficult to take down. So I'm very curious to see what the bot lanes are going to start shaping up for these two teams. Neela getting taken away as Bori is an absolute fantastic Neela player. I think at one point he told me... I think at one point, I think it was a split or two ago, where Bori was top 100 Neela on the server. Like, he is very, very competent at that champion. Olaf getting taken away from Giyu in the top lane here.
So. Yeah, I mean, I think Hashira set themselves up with a bit of a dive comp, which you don't always want into something like Swain, who likes to get dived onto and have longer fights. So we'll see if they pivot here. Something like,
ooh,
that is not a Varus, that is a Vayne. Ooh, sure, okay. Let's go.
Okay.
Double check. Is there anything coming in the lobby about a misclick, or
nope?
Are we getting some spice in game 2?
I really like this Vayne pick, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in a terrible spot either. Which also now makes extra sure of this Neela ban, actually.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You know, that's maybe the one thing I'm nervous about is, what does Coinflip have to respond? You know, something long range to try to punish the Vayne, but
no more beef.
Essentially takes away a Kaisa pick that I think Bori and Coinflip were otherwise looking for. Vayne plays very well into Kaisa, so you know, Coinflip should maybe pivot to something ranged. I don't know if Ashe is in the pool or
Caitlyn's out. Jinx is out. Corki is the pick here. Okay, trying to go early game against late game.
Yeah,
Let's
I mean, you
see.
kind of have to into the vein.
Gnar is out here. Mundo's out. What's the top lane pick here?
Imagine we're gonna
Ooh.
get something with frontline.
Mm, I don't know how I feel about this.
It's an interesting draft from Hashira. Say to tell you that much.
Yeah, this is something. I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on the Mordekaiser, and like I think Mordekaiser's in a fantastic spot right now. Don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of it's just a lot of beef for him to go through, and I know sometimes that can be an issue. I mean, what could have potentially been the pick here? Cho'Gath kind of stands the ground more. I actually really like the Cho'Gath here. Set could pelt back somebody into the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, all you can think of is like maybe you go for something a little more tanky, but I like what Hashira has cooking up here. I think for starters, you have Akaza on something that can, at the very least, fight back a bit more in Brandino. I do think Jax is favored in that matchup. A bit of a niche counter pick, and it blends well into Brandino's jungle champ pool as well. But at the very least, you're not going to be getting kind of run over early game like we saw at level 3 in game 1. And, pairing up with some good skirmishing mid supports as well. Silas Sinzao is going to be favored into the Swain Jax early. And then Leona and Nautilus should be able to clap back into each other as well. I do want to talk this bot lane matchup a bit if you'll let me have the mic for
it's all yours, my friend.
Nautilus Corki, that's nothing out of the ordinary, but the Vayne especially. I talked on how the Vayne was probably really smart draft pick, going into the team of some meatballs of Swain, Nautilus, Jax, but more so to take away a Nautilus Kai'Sa. Vayne pairs very well into Kai'Sa. And so I wanted to see Coinflip kind of pivot into something to really punish the laning of the Vayne. And Corki, he's not necessarily the pick I had in mind. I had in mind maybe longer range marksman. But that's a champ that should be able to do that. Nautilus Corki is going to have the slight edge into the Leona Vayne. Corki should be running cleanse, and with that Gatling gun up, Corki will be favored unless Hashira get this long trade. So I think we saw the bot lane go Coinflip's favor, in what some would say could be lucky fashion. But this time they have a little more agency with the Nautilus for GeoPro. And I think Hashira really going to have their eyes around keeping this Vayne alive and not too far behind. Because while, yes, you do have more skirmishing potential on the rest of the map, so do Coinflip. And so I think the 80 carry of Hashira, Deborah Morgan, is going to be another key piece in Game 2. And someone you really want to keep in the game. So I want to see Akaza path down there and help facilitate your 80 carry and get them in a spot to do just that and carry.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think that's a fantastic take overall. I think for me, like the first early levels of the bot lane I'm looking at, but then I'm really focused on this 2v2 because I feel like the Hashira and draft last game gave away a lot of their skirmishing advantage in the top side of the map. So if this Silas and Xin get off the ground, Jax scales much, much slower out of the jungle than he does top lane. And I'm afraid, kind of like Jinx last game, he might not have the ability to get off the ground if they play into it correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. I would say Swain Aristotle Swain rather. That's a comfort pick, right? So
for sure.
That's great for Coinflip. I mean, I'm gonna give the slight draft edge to them as well in this game. I feel like top lane, Matthias should be able to hold his own into the Mordekaiser, similar to what we saw last game, and then the rest of the map, have yourself set up for some more great skirmishing. But we'll see if, the hands of the Hashira can flip that around and prove me wrong, as I would love to have that happen. Love to be proven wrong. This theory can only take you so far.
Yeah, I think my only worrisome for the Hashira side is this Mordekaiser pick. I wasn't really feeling it in the draft, and I mean, if he takes Jax to Brazil, Jax is pretty mobile enough and can stat check him quite easily, and I feel like Quirky has enough mobility originally to kind of mitigate a lot of the stuff. I guess if Mordekaiser does get ahead, he still has ways of taking in, say, Swain if the ult's down, or Nautilus. But I feel like they don't open up the team comp of Coinflip enough that it's just two 5v5 ball comps going at each other. I would have loved to see something like, I don't know, maybe like a Yorick, actually, to kind of put pressure on the side lane and maybe split up this team comp that Coinflip is drafted here.
100% agree. I mean, that's what worked well for them last game, was having some agency for Gyu in the top lane. You know, it's what really kept them in it, despite really suffering all those team fights. Is you have this Gnar to lean back on with 3 grubs, and they got an inhib that game. And you know, typically in games that's unclose. You don't expect a losing team to be able to snag an inhib, but I think a lot of that was because of that top lane advantage they had. And you know, I feel like maybe you're not setting yourself up for the same thing in this game, and you're doing a weird hybrid too. If you want to double down and commit to Deborah Morgan as this late game carry, you know, just send a Scion, send this hyper tank in the top side. But you know, I'm not a top lane expert, so maybe this is a matchup he's pretty comfortable on. I just, in theory, the way I'm playing it out in my head is that this Mordekaiser is not going to get quite far enough ahead to make it worth it.
Yeah, I'm for sure in with that. I'm even thinking like if they lane swapped Mordekaiser, Swain, like Swain just kind of nullifies him being ranged in mid lane. Silas definitely doesn't want to see Renekton until like mid game where fights are prolonged here. Yeah, I think if Coinflip gets ahead, their tankiness allows them to protect Corki, but Hashira, I mean, if this Vayne gets off the ground, then it becomes, you know, how good of a Vayne player you are. And if you're a very good Vayne player, this is kind of the game you want to be in. So you can showcase that quite a bit. This is a, let's see if we can get a Mr. Boofa call back on this Vayne here.
Yeah, to be fair to Mr. Boofa, though, they Silvero gave him a nice little triple kill early on. I'd be very surprised. Well, not very surprised. You know, with how Coinflip was overreaching, you know, maybe the same thing's in the cards. But if you are overreaching, don't let it be into the Vayne. Let it be into other areas of the map. You know, I think Coinflip should be trying to play around their top side and their mid laner, whereas Hashira play towards the bot lane, try to get this Vayne ahead. So it's a bit of a clash of styles potentially, but they're definitely going to come face to face in what I expect to be some more explosive 5v5 action.
For sure. Let's see, who do we got in the chat here? Definitely some oohs and ahs from the Coinflip fans last game. So, let's see.
Right. Dead chat. Oh my gosh, they're giving us nothing, CLT.
Ooh.
Gonna need a little more love out of the Coinflip fans.
All right.
And maybe some Hashira fans. Are there any Hashira fans around?
I mean, I guess.
Overrun by Krieger and Gamba.
You can low key kind of say I'm kind of rooting for them. I did predict them over the Coinflip. So, but again, much respect for both teams here. I'm seeing the Ghost on the Vayne. I really love this Ghost decision from Deborah Morgan here.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I'm going to hold that thought. We got level 1 action. Silas walking on in, forced to flash.
Oh, hello!
Hook still connects. Deborah Morgan humbling on out of there.
I hate that hook.
And as a Nautilus player, I don't mind it, but I do understand it. Where hatred comes from.
Yeah.
Silas no flash early on though. That could be great news for Aristotle and more importantly Brandino.
Oh?
You chunking down the Renekton.
Gyudo's got two people coming onto him. Well, oh,
Those guys
hello.
are passive though. That heal's not going to be enough. But the stun, Brandino in the area.
Oh,
Gyu
double flash.
out. Double flash follow. First blood to Aristotle, who is going to be against a flashless opponent. And Coinflip once again off to a phenomenal start. Just superior level 1 setup.
That is flash down on the Jax and the rest of the top side of Coinflip. So Jax's early game ganks are not going to be that prominent. Arresto doesn't have a chance to back off the first blood, so that is still decent. Again, Swain has a lot of pressure early into the Silas, just being range versus melee, but he definitely doesn't mind that extra gold and experience there from that.
Yeah, and if you can keep this passive stacked up, then it looks like a very good lane for the Mordekaiser. You know, we saw a very early glimpse of that, with just how well that level 1 trade was going. But things are going to be tougher. You know, no flash, not going to be wanting to walk up as far and maybe toe that line. That can be dangerous. Other than that, though, expecting both junglers to full clear, like both full clearing down. So we'll see how that ends up playing out, you know, in a few minutes here.
Yeah, bot lane for Hashira hit the level 2 first. Oh?
Under tower goes Matthias. He's forced to retreat. Doesn't have any abilities up, but you know, can't do anything but watch. Great pull from the Mordekaiser under tower, punishing and overstepping Matthias.
Guillaume?
As Silas, speaking of overstepping, no flash. Aristotle peppering him down. One more auto will do it. Gets the kill. Akaza in the area for, at the very least, a trade kill. So teams, a lot of action already. We are already over a kill a minute, and I don't know if that's slowing down as Akaza looking to invade the red buff, but he's going to be a bit late on the play, and now maybe they're a bit caught out.
Yeah.
Goes on to the Leona. GeoPro giving chase. Brandino gets off the Krugs, but going to go back to them. We can catch our breath. Go ahead, CRT.
I was prepared for the 3.5 minute 3v3 in the bot lane here. Like, I was ready to go for it.
Looks like we got a little bit of lag.
Yep.
Out of view. 66 ping. If only that was lag for me.
Oh yeah, you're on the other side of the country. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, we play around 60 to 70 ping here, and you get used to it. So all works out fine. Hopefully things okay for Gyu. I mean, he was off to a good start in that lane after what was a bad start to the game.
Yeah, I think I mean, getting the early kills on the Arresto is very, very useful here. I can already tell he's not going a Rod of Ages. This is potentially, I believe those are lost chapter components here. Makes me think that this is going to be Blackfire Torch or Malignance, and against what's essentially like 4.5 melee, just because of the Vayne's short range. I do like Blackfire quite a bit here. It doesn't really scale into the Silas. It doesn't spike that early either, but not terrible here. I'm curious to see if Gyu is going to keep this pressure up on the top side, and see what kind of early MR Matthias maybe goes with here, if it's like a first back Hex Drinker type game. But we do see Deborah and Tegan actually up on CS here in the bot lane. They were the first ones to hit level 2, which was kind of surprising as well.
Yeah, you know, I know you want to give respect over to the Vayne, but I really do think you can play this lane a bit more if you're GeoPro and Bori. I think just maybe seeding a little bit of pressure there. But, you know, better to be cautious, if anything. I obviously am not too well versed in Vayne matchups, as that champ really, you know, really hasn't been in the bot lane meta for a good while now. We're starting to see it creep up more, which is fun. I saw an R come through. Hopefully we should be able to get back in the game shortly.
Yeah, it looks that way. Just waiting for someone to pull the trigger on that. Oh, okay. We'll have the spectator wanting to catch up here.
Yeah, kind of waiting for that.
Yeah.
I think now that the bot lanes are at the level 3 mark, maybe this is when the Nautilus Corki start to play the lane more. Corki,
There it is.
with those 3 basic abilities, is going to have a bit more potential than the Vayne. Nautilus has a bit of a tough time into Leona, but I think GeoPro will be able to navigate that safely and not necessarily overcommit on the Nautilus, which is the one angle, or the one way you kind of get punished. Things still pretty even though. Mid lane looks really good for Aristotle, though, I will say.
Yeah, I know. On paper, it's a pretty nightmare matchup for the Swain, but there are things you can do to just definitely mitigate it, stop the bleeding, and then just hope your team can take out the Silas and team fights there. You've seen one of the tricks where the moment you see him throw the E at a minion, he can just throw the W there and try to get a cheeky little stack.
Yeah. Good invade out of Brandino and Matthias in the top side. Recognizing that Akaza should be bot side in the moment, having the top push via the Renekton, and using that to take away a camp here. A little something back, but Akaza going to be plenty comfortable farming up that bot side. And we'll see. Wave state-wise, Brandino may be in a spot to gank mid, just looking to take away camps, but Akaza collapsing in the mid lane as well, so nothing quite breaking out yet as Bori jumping in for some action. That'll be just that as Condemn comes through. Tengen's under tower as GeoPro giving a little chase. The hook connects as well on top of the Phosphorus Bond. Back comes the Galleon. Flash forward from GeoPro. Deborah Morgan forced to summon her spell out.
Ooh.
As the stun does catch the Silas. And yes, Akaza's is in the area, but is going to be enough. He is picking up the 1, and now Brandino in the 1 versus 2. Not going to have enough damage. And he's going to be burnt down as well. So well played, first off, to the bot lane of Coinflip getting some summoners, but Akaza and Guillaume clapping back in that mid-jungle 2v2.
Yeah, this is kind of what we've seen out of Hashira all season, was a lot of these skirmishes and 2v2, 3v3s in the top side here. Well played on the Hashira's bot lane, though, getting out without giving up any gold here, though they did have to burn quite a bit of summoners, but both bot lanes backing here. We get a Hextech Drake again, is the first Drake on the map.
Yeah, going to be an easy pickup for Akaza after that mid-jungle 2v2. A lot burned onto the Silas early on, and then from there, Akaza would walk in, kill a very low health Aristotle. He wasn't yet level 6 at the time. No access to the Crow. Sorry, it's not Crow Storm. What's Swain's ulti called?
Demonic Ascension.
Demonic Ascension.
You were close.
Yeah, no access to the ulti. And so that Swain is very squishy. And they do just that. They pop him and then 2v1 turning their attention onto the Jax. Nothing Brandino could do by that point. Top lane, I will say, is going the way of Gyu ever since that solo kill. Getting the push and, building up a little bit of CS lead for himself as well.
Yeah, overall, you're still seeing it be about a 1k gold lead here for Hashira. And I think a lot, I love what Akuza's doing a lot. Oh, Silas, okay. I see you. Definitely with a really, really nice trade back there with the W rotate. I'm trying to see, what is he? Okay, so it is W max Silas. Couldn't tell you when the max what. I'll defer that to an actual Silas player, not me. But, I think you're going to start to see him start to push back a little bit.
Demonic Ascension pop, but is it going to be enough? Aristotle caught out a trade of Demonic Ascension. Pop Guillaume. And there's that counter pick coming through. Solo kill. Picked up for the mid laner of the Hashira.
Yeah, and that was not a shutdown, but still ult being burned by Arresto here. Means these 2v2s, if they do end up going after these grubs, which they are here. Let me pan up to the grubs. Brandino inspecting, but Matthias backed. Okay. Little dub the shopkeeper there from Matthias with the Hex Drinker. But, Leandry's coming out from Giyu. I love this pickup here. I think this item's super underrated on Mordekaiser early.
Yeah, I mean, W to Shopkeeper, is that too early for the Hex Drinker, or do you like to have the early pickup just to give you those flat resistances in the lane?
I mean, there's probably some truth that maybe it is a little bit early. But I think it's okay depending on how much gold you back with. I wouldn't tell you what is better on the Renekton. I'm not a top laner myself, but I just see double melee magic dealers. I'm pretty happy with the Hex Drinker overall.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And Silas already with the proto belt, just 9 minutes in, snowballing well. It's gonna be a scary lane for Aristotle to kind of stick around in. You know, at a time like this, I want to see Coinflip bot lane try to punish those flashless opponents. The summoners are coming back up, so your window is closing.
Big top lane battle here.
Ultis as into the death realm.
Oh, nice!
Stun book for Slice and Dice. He's healing up, but it's not going to be enough. As Giyu flashes backwards with the mace and picks up another solo kill onto the Croc.
That was so well played. He knew he was too close, and Matthias could walk through him to dodge the Q and win the trade, so he flashes backwards on it. Well played by Giyu, but I will give hats off to Matthias there, saving the empowered W for Giyu's full W shield, and negating that made this much closer than you would expect.
Yeah, 100% agree. Fun battle to watch between those two top laners. As this Mordekaiser counter pick, you know, for the meantime, shutting us up. It's doing what it's supposed to do on R5, picking up a few kills. And Leandry's is already in, so that should be very nice for Giyu's lane, as he's going to continue to lay in the pressure, push things in, and help keep the pressure off his bot lane, as they're the ones getting pushed in by Bori, but, you know, overall not really getting punished. Ascension in the mid lane. The 2v2 that's going to break out as Brandino flashes forward for the two-man counter-strike. Silas flashing out to try to escape, and Akaza running away the same, forced to flash out as well. GeoPro looking in the bot lane, forces Ghost Flash yet again out of the vein.
Here comes Mordekaiser, though.
Mordekaiser coming in from the top side. But it looks like Aristotle and Brandino are going to shepherd themselves out of that one. But here comes Tengen. The pincer from all sides as Aristotle forced to flash out. Brandino
nicey.
But Tengen still finds the Zenith Blade, and the Solar Flare smites down the Swain from the skies. Great roam from the Leona and the Mordekaiser to find some angles to punish. But Coinflip are going to respond. Notably, this Renekton picking up a few plays from the top side, and Corki continuing to push in the bot side. Dragon being started up by Hashira. Renekton no TP. Aristotle up in 3. Does have the teleport, but no demonic ascension. Dragon down to 3.5. In comes the Swain TP, as it looks like Coinflip want the 4v4, but Drake is going to fall down first to Akaza. GeoPro hooking himself on out, but a two-man root from Aristotle picks up Deborah Morgan. GeoPro in the Death Realm. Looks like gonna fall to the Mordekaiser, but what happens after is 3 versus 1. Giyu is surrounded. Still wants the smoke though, but shut down over to Corki, and Brandino's giving chase for more, as all of a sudden Coinflip starting to even up the kill score a little bit more. Hashira get the Drake, but Coinflip get the fight.
Yeah, and most notably, we're back to less than 1,000 gold lead here, about 300, so virtually even between these two teams. I do think, though, the Chemtech Drake improving healing primarily for this Hashira comp is pretty massive here. When you got sources like Silas, you got Vayne already on the Vamp Scepter trying to go after this Blade of the Rune King. Deborah, though, looking for Bori here. Q's going to come up here. Movement speed coming out.
Last auto. Oh, the Riptide comes in a bit too late. Now GeoPro going to try to kill the Vayne, but Lethal Tempo fully stacked.
Oh, here's Silas.
Going to be able to do so. 3v2 in the mid lane, though. GeoPro does get the return kill, but Brandino's going to fall to Akaza. And now they're jumping onto the Swain. Aristotle 3 versus 1. Demonic Ascension not enough to keep him alive, and Tengen limps away as well. Does
Oh.
fall to the burn of the Blackfire Torch. It's more action all around as Cold stays relatively even, but Hashira answering back with a few kills of their own. Most notably, right again, around that mid-jungle area.
Yeah, Arresto, though, getting a lot of this gold here, going the double burn build, so he's getting accelerated as well. But Silas and, Guillaume and Akuza being very, very happy with how these mid-jungle fights are going here. Brandino 0-2 does have the Trinity Force complete, though, so that's a nice pickup for him. But full Maul of the Malmortius for topside. Okay. Why not?
I guess you already have the component. Just double down and buy the whole thing. I mean, we'll see how it plays out for him. He's not getting solo kill as good, but a dredge line connect onto Deborah.
Oh
no
my
flash,
lord!
No from earlier. Bori able to Valkyrie in for a pop of a kill. And so that's what it looks like when the Vayne doesn't get the jump on a already low health Corki. Triforce in, still no Bork for the Vayne, so Corki's gonna run this matchup, for the next maybe 10 or so minutes, and it's gonna be important for Coinflip to try to capitalize on that before this Vayne scales into the late game.
Yeah, what's behind door number 1? A Trinity Force Corki? Nope. But we do see, though, in the midst of all that, Silas, I don't think, can take the ult weight. But
yeah, but still forces out a Swain, so a good trade overall for Guillaume, but a better trade for Coinflip after that kill, picking up the first tower, and they're sticking around for more as well. Tengen just leaving alone Deborah Morgan. I guess punishment for maybe not going along with the name team. Matthias trading it. This is my problem with the Maul. You just don't have really any damage as you would with a more traditional Renekton build. But
yeah,
that topside prio Rift Herald going over to the Hashira.
Yeah, and full feats of strength going over to the side of Hashira as well. We did not note. So I think the upgraded boots are actually really, really massive in games like these where there's a lot of fighting, especially the defensive ones, which is see 3 of them out for the Hashira already. So the upgraded ones are going to put in a lot of work.
And there's a Herald spawn already in the top lane, popping it instantly to try to get some. Hook connects onto the Silas.
Oh, Silas can turn this.
Stolen away. Guillaume wants to smoke. He's going in for more. He's slicing, dicing, going for it.
Oh, the E!
Coming through. Is it going to be enough? As another chain lash comes on through. Still healing with that demonic ascension. That is a 2v1 Guillaume is happy to take. And he'll take 2 down with him as well. Silas popping off here in the mid lane yet again. Coinflip just don't have an answer into the Mage Seeker.
Or
what is it? Whatever it is.
No, I think you actually had it right. Well, I'll wait for this top fight to get over with as we just brawl.
Ma does pop, and so that's going to be enough survivability for the Renekton. Trade of ultis, all it is at the end of it.
I want to note, immediately after that mid lane fight was done and Arresto died, he bought anti-healing.
Yeah, Brandino jumping onto Akaza, but he's going to find himself in the middle of 4. This time, without the survivability of the Pantheon, gets punished. Demonic Ascension popped, but Deborah Morgan looking to jump on in. Does have the Bork now, but falls dangerously low. Tengen trying to finish up the Swain. Gyu comes in to finish the job. And now Bori caught in a 1v1 versus this Corki, and on the bottom side of the map, Geopro 1 versus 3, not going to be able to win out on that one. And so Hashira, with just better numbers everywhere in that initial pounce, they pick up a sweeping set of kills and going to put themselves on sole point just 17.5 minutes into this game too.
Yeah, sole point when you have the Vayne bot lane here. It's got to feel really, really good here with this, with the way that 5v5 went. The thing, it's just this. I was very, very concerned at this Jax pick not getting off the ground, and it seems like they've done quite a good job containing him overall. I mean, looking at his item build right now, he's sitting on Triforce, but they're just focus firing him down quite heavily here. to start these fights, and then they just become very odd numbered fights here. But this Silas 6-1 and 7 is having himself a game.
Yeah, and it's tough to see who's going to be killing the Silas and even the Xin Zhao. You know, Corki is maybe the person on Coinflip who has the most damage initiative here in this mid game, but really tough to hit into those two bruising skirmishers. But we'll see. You know, maybe Coinflip can play the numbers game, get themselves in favorable spots. We see it here as they're moving down the Nautilus and the Corki, trying to find the punishment angle, but wisely avoided by both Tengen and Guillaume. Yu continuing to get the push in this top side, though.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sold on the experimental hexplate second here. But I'll save that thought.
Hook onto the Silas. Follow-up CC comes on through. Silas not going to be able to heal through this one.
Oh?
As Bori picks up one. Valkyrie's over the wall to reposition himself. And this time with the safety of his team, going to be able to pick up another one. So this time Coinflip getting the pounce. And Deborah Morgan forced to ulti on out rather than in. Great play out of the Coinflip support to finally find an angle onto the Silas, but in the meantime, Yu is still just wailing away on this tower. Is level 13, does have the ulti available, pops it, and is just going for the tower. He doesn't.
Oh! Oh, no!
Good health.
Oh, 11 HP! Oh, that's what feels bad.
That's that Swain W coming in. That little bit of damage, just enough. I mean, wow. But that's a great set of kills for Coinflip, though. I think Hashira are maybe overplaying their hand a bit here. You know, not staying structured around the leads that they have, trying to keep this Silas and Xin Zhao together and dominant together as they have been all of the early game. And now with Otacon up, this is anyone's game as gold is back to even. This Vayne, you know, only on the Bork, not really at that scary late game carry level yet.
Oh, Bradino!
As we go, flashes forward into 4, is going to get punished for it. And now Bori's forced to retreat. Solar Flare goes just short. A crucial miss coming out of Tengen means Bori's able to walk away, but they still pick up one.
That is
roaming down into the area.
That is jungler down for Otacon, but looking like a little bit of a brush cheese coming out.
Brute connects onto the Mordekaiser. He's going to get decently chunked. The shield doesn't do too much for him, but in comes Silas. Does have the Jax ultimate, pops it for a little extra tankiness, but it's not going to be enough. Bori and Aristotle just shredding through these meatballs. Otacon doing some help too as Deborah falls to half health off just the neutral objective. And now Hashira, they're pinched and Coinflip wants more.
Oh, nicey.
A two-man root out of Aristotle. Going to be enough for them. Deborah, not quite enough damage onto Bori. It's just going to be an easy chase for the side of Coinflip. Huge flash out of Aristotle. Going to help score Coinflip the ace. So, I mean, you know, all these fights, it feels like, in these early two games, Brandino just going way in. And then the rest of Coinflip somehow just able to make it work as they walk out with an ace and grab the Otacon. And, I mean, they are now in a phenomenal spot to look to keep this game in their hands before it scales out with the Vayne and with Soul coming up in just 50 seconds. Action's not going to stop. We get a quick breather here, CLT.
Yeah, looking at this game so far, I mean, they're still on Soul Point here, but they are now behind Coinflip by 3k gold here at the 22-minute mark. I think the thing that stood out to me in these fights so far is the Silas was playing very close to the vest on the Swain ult, but the last couple fights he stole GeoProw's Nautilus ult, which does a respectable amount of damage, but then also stealing the Jax ult, where it's just not the most useful ult here. I know Coinflip has kind of kept Arresto away from him, so he had to make a choice and steal another ult here, but overall, I think I want to see Hashira play these fights out just a little bit cleaner and with a little more setup, but they're the ones getting jumped on here. And I mean, here we go again.
The jumping continues, so in goes Brandino.
Swain ult on the Silas, though.
In the area. Silas does pop the Swain ulti. He goes into 4, but he is just getting popped blown up, and Aristotle Bori still untouched. Bori goes into the Death Realm. He's kiting out, and the rest of his team is winning the fight for him on the top side of the map. Flashes over the Mordekaiser Mace. It's not going to be enough, though. Hexblade helps finish the job. Matthias going in for some more action as Akaza's barely going to fall. No, he's going to limp away. Giyu falls, though, and so Coinflip, they pick up yet another fight. This Silas, I mean, he's just gone from what, 5-1 down to 6-4. Coinflip just punishing him so well. When he jumps in, they all turn on to the mid laner, burst him down, and that's been the key to these fights. Debra just not able to hit, doesn't have enough space. Coinflip extending their gold lead to 3K, and I think most crucially picking up the dragon there to stop Soul from going over.
Yeah, I think the good thing, though, for Hashira's favor is getting the first 3 dragons here. Vayne still has plenty of time and plenty of room to scale. You'll start to see the upgraded boots come out. Alright, Guillaume working towards the Zhonya's, I think, is a massive, massive pickup here that allows him to kind of keep playing the aggressive style he's been going on. But Bori being able to output a boatload of damage into Giyu and surviving quite a bit in his Death Realm is also very, very big for Coinflip's team fight. See, the Seeker's Arm Guard now completed for Arresto, so we're going to start seeing some Hourglasses coming out. Debra on 2 items, I think, is the big, big spike here with the Rage Blade.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. You know,
I would.
It may sound silly, but I'd want Vayne on like 3 or 4 items with the tankiness of something like Jackshow or Hexblade, because she is still going to get popped by this topside dive that Coinflip have. Giyu looking for a trade onto Matthias, just a big trade of autos going back and forth. The damage layering in nicely, though, from the Mordekaiser. Forces Renekton back, and Debra looking for some damage onto the mid lane, but taking a lot of damage doing so. Goes into the Valkyrie and is getting burned. Tengen forced to block the rockets, but in comes the Riptide. Pop goes Vayne. They overextend for the tower, and Coinflip's there to punish. And now, with 2 members down, the bot lane down of Hashira, should be an easy Baron for Coinflip. We'll see if the Hashira try to contest it.
Yeah, this I noted last game that there was only Rise as the wave clear for Hashira against this Baron. They literally have like no wave clear at all.
Who gets turned on and popped, doesn't even have time to pop the Death Realm. And you know, with no Mordekaiser, you can't imagine that Guillaume and Akaza are going to be able to turn this one. Brandino flashes over. Coinflip wants the fight just to be certain. No chance Akaza's getting in that pit. And now, once again, third time here, the Baron dance going on for a little long. But
Silas,
just to make sure Coinflip is extra sure.
Silas still has ult. Resto does not have ult. There's a lot of ults still down here. Alright, so they're not looking to make anything of that, so free Baron for Coinflip here. And this is going to be really, really difficult now for Hashira to play into this.
Yeah, I mean, Aristotle has gone from what, like, I don't want to throw numbers out there, but he was not doing well. It was a sub 0.5 KD for sure. And now 10, 7, and 10 on the Swain. A lot of the action happening around him. 20 out of 24 KP, you know, highlighting that fact. And now with the Baron, so tough for Hashira to kind of opt into a fight, because one bad fight could just mean the game here. And with the leads that Coinflip now have, you know, 6K ahead now, things are looking great for them. 2 levels up from Matthias. I mean, this was the bright spot for the Hashira, and now struggling as stun goes in.
Oh my lord!
My God. Ori and Brandino pop in the jungler, the MVP candidate of Hashira. And now they're still marching forward with the Baron buff, picking up these towers. Vayne going towards the top side to try to look for something back. I don't know if this is an overcommit though. Pops the ulti. Into the bush goes Matthias. He's trying to kite it out. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do
hello!
But does pick up the one. Even still, though, Coinflip are pushing for the base. Debra's trying to get back in time, but Brandino's hitting the towers. The rest of Coinflip doing the same. They're marching forward. Minions still alive in 4 versus 3. I don't think they have quite the damage to get through Coinflip, who once again find a way to end the game like that.
in just 28 minutes. We are still under an hour of total game time, and Coinflip find themselves up 2-0 in this best of 5.
What an explosive ending overall. But these mid game team fights out of Coinflip just look cleaner and cleaner as the series went on. You did note that it sometimes looked like Brandino was throwing the Nikes on and running it, but the rest of his team, standing up tall. Arresto on this Swain. He had a really, really tough laning phase here, but in these mid games fights, this Swain was doing well. And again, Bori, last game got the early triple kill and kept Deborah Morgan down in the lane. And I mean, coming out here, 30k damage overall is a pretty insane number for being mostly like a single target damage on the Corki here. So
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, just those mid games. It's where Coinflip has been winning. It doesn't look like a coin flip, and really they're not even coin flipping around the Baron, playing that beautifully, ensuring Hashira have absolutely no way back in the game. I think maybe a bit of a desperation play out of Deborah with the roam into the top side, overloading, trying to get something back. I don't want to see any memeing about Renekton for Nexus, because I think that's really one of the only plays you can make there. You don't have much wave clear on the Vayne, so try to make something happen on the other side of the map. But Matthias, he found his way back into the game after an otherwise rough early game. And once again, I mean, Coinflip they're just killing it.
he put a second point in the E level 3. Oh, rip. So, yeah. Alright, I am going to step away for a few minutes, use the restroom, get myself a drink as well, so I will leave you with the GOAT here.
Yeah, I mean, sounds good. We're just in between games, not really expecting much to happen. I don't necessarily talk too much in between games, just try to think back, reflect on what happened in that game too. I think definitely, maybe not what we all expected with these first two games. Coming out of Coinflip, they look very clean. I think Hashira, the number 1 seed out of Group A, maybe expecting things to go a little more their favor. Still plenty of league left to be played. But the side of Coinflip, just getting the upper hand in these skirmishes. And that's been all that's pretty much been the story of the games here. I think I did like game 2 out of Hashira a bit more. They had Akaza on something with more agency. We saw, those early game leads come from the mid jungle. I think the bot lane, though, of Deborah and Tengen struggling to find footing. I think what I want to see in this game 3 is a bot lane with more agency. Index into the early game and into the mid game, because that's where you've been really losing it, especially in the bot lane. And see how that goes for you. Let your jungle mid get leads that they have been doing, and trust them to do. This time in the bot lane, pick yourself something for lane, something that will be able to fight into Bori, who in that game 2 especially was carrying fights. But I think it's more so just Deborah's not finding a way into these skirmishes, and that's the difference I want to see in this game 3. Not quite season on the line. It is double elim, but give yourself a chance to fight back from other avenues rather than just a few different lanes. And so we'll see what adjustments are made. Expecting similar bans to come through. We had the same bans in game 1 and game 2. Expecting the same for game 3. And that will kind of leave things open for some game 3 fearless spice. Maybe someone's got something cooked up. I'm expecting a bit of a GeoPro off meta pick, if we will. I think you're up 2-0. Now's the time you can kind of throw something a little more fun at the side of Hashira. Lane's been going well for you. Throw something unexpected to maybe put a wrench in the plans that I've been talking about for them and drafting yourselves a better bot lane. Aurora's been getting banned in the second phase. I don't know if anyone else plays Aurora on the side of Coinflip, but is a great flex pick option. Can go mid, can go top. So we see bans come on through. Hashira, they are going to be switching out a Caitlyn ban in favor of a Mel ban, so could be leaning towards a first pick of it. Yep, correct prediction there. I know CLT has the client up right now, but I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one. Drop the Caitlyn ban, pick it yourself. That's going to be something that gives you a stronger lane. Coinflip responding right back with a Nocturne Ziggs. Great pickup from them. So that's going to be a very nice dive onto the Caitlyn. Deborah's not going to have a fun series, I think. Nocturne ult's going to come in from Brandino. Ziggs Inferno Bomb over top, and it's going to be really tough for the Caitlyn to play. We'll see what the Hashira's angle here is. Do you pick some peel here for the Caitlyn to give her some survivability, or do you just index into dive yourself, which I feel like Hashira have been doing all season, and it looks like it will be that latter. Going for the Nico, I think that's a very strong lane, Caitlyn Nico. If you ever get a root from the Nico, one of those powered up ones, easy follow-up for the Caitlyn to get that root. And then the team fight potential out of Nico Jarvan is so strong. I'm a bit concerned about the range that Ziggs and Orianna have, but if you're able to jump on them, those are two relatively immobile carries. And so, great team fight utility out of the Hashira jungle sup. May be enough to turn the tide in these team fights. A little less beefy and skirmishy out of Coinflip as well. Maybe gives you a window. But time will tell. To get into round 2. Very quick set of bans. This Cassante Ornn taken away from Matthias. Looking at other options, I think you take your support on 4 here. Save counterpick for Matthias. Let him have something that can comfortably survive into Gyu, who, I think overall has been laning well. Rakan going to be the pickup. I'm a fan of that. Into Nico, you don't really want to be playing traditional melee setup supports, even though those are good with Ziggs. Rakan's kind of just a nice handshake there to keep you in it, and still have some good dive and setup as well. But going to be able to play safe, get on the map, make stuff happen around the map. And the answer for Hashira, Guillaume, throwing down the gauntlet, going for the Akali, so they're really doubling down, tripling down on this dive. Akali into Ori is going to be a fun matchup for Guillaume. See if Aristotle's going to be able to navigate through that relatively safely. Has been at the whims a little bit of Guillaume's solo kills. I think most crucially that mid jungle. Jarvan Akali going to play nicely into Nocturne Orianna, at least early on. After that, the dive is just going to be miserable to play against. This Caitlyn is... Deborah's not going to have a good time. Nocturne Orianna, classic combo. But I think the answer from Hashira is something I like. You're almost just sacking the Caitlyn here and letting Caitlyn die in these team fights, and then just going to hope that everything else around that goes your way with just drafting a better 4-man squad.
Well, I missed quite a bit.
Akali, Jarvan are going to be very comfortable diving. Yes, you did. I'm just yapping about draft, and they're going quick, to be honest. I think we're probably catching up to the Instinct Femboy series. I know we're not watching that, but I am wondering how that's going. Either way, we're going to have time to watch the other series.
Mm-hmm.
Will be interesting. But yeah, you can see the draft. What's jumping out to you, CLT?
I don't... Wow, hold on. There's a lot of shit to take in. Hashira with the deny pickup on the Caitlyn is interesting. Mel also getting taken off the table in the bans. I love the Orianna R3 and the Kassadin Fizz denials, as Orianna traditionally doesn't do great into either of those champions. She can bully them around, but they just start to outscale her very quickly. Nico Jarvan Akali combo is a lot of damage and a lot of skirmish power. With that chuckle, I feel like you noted that one. So, Scion B5, I think is a really nice front line, especially into the Ziggs. Super tanks are very good at walking into Ziggs minefields. Not only are they just bigger champion statures, so they soak up a lot more, but Scion specifically can keep refreshing the shield and walking through them. So Ziggs' denial and zone control can get nullified there, but the Orianna Nocturne combo, if you can pull that off, that is good. There's just not a lot of champions for them to pull it off on, respectably. Like, I think Jarvan is going to be the one that makes the first move. And Caitlyn has enough range that, like, Nocturne just gets too far away from the Orianna. If anything, I like the Orianna Rakan combo in this set R5 into the Scion. Okay, I mean, let's dunk some people.
Yeah, liking all your takes there. I think especially around the Nocturne Ori point is like, I was saying you're almost just sacking the Caitlyn. You're taking 4 champions that are okay playing into the Nocturne Orianna. You know, just answering back with dive of your own, looking to pounce first. Caitlyn's just gonna be, Deborah Morgan's gonna be in for a miserable time, but that's nothing new this series. Just do what you can to stay up, provide utility with traps. I think at the very least you have a stronger lane for yourself, which should be good. This is a draft that I do like out of Hashira. I think for the first time today, I give the slight edge to them draft-wise. They have ways to fight back in every lane early, and I think crucially, at least have a chance to skirmish alongside Coinflip, because that's where they've been dominating the games.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think Coinflip has to play these fights a lot more carefully, which, respectfully, I don't think is what they like to do, and is their style. The where Hashira, like, they just can throw themselves at Coinflip and get a lot of work done, specifically with the Nico. So, Akali Jarvan's an interesting 2v2 convo, looking at that versus the Nocturne, but they spike earlier and play much faster than Nocturne Ori. Nocturne Ori loves a lot more setup, and there's a lack of setup coming out of the Coinflip's comp. Like, there is with Nocturne Rakan, but it's such a spread out, divey type of Hashira comp that Rakan loves going into more reserved, more slower paced team comps. Like, he loves to speed it up, but I feel like the rest of the Coinflip comp loves to choose their battles a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm with that. That's actually a really good way to paint the picture here. You know, so many go buttons on Coinflip's side. It'll be a matter of how they synergize up with that. And I guess same thing for the side of Hashira as well. You have so many different engage tools. I think it's going to come down to who's able to sync up on those teamfight ultis better. You know, if anyone mispositions, who's going to pounce first? In this series, it's been Coinflip so far, but Hashira have the tools to change that narrative in this game 3. And we'll see how these battles are chosen and who ends up coming out on top. I'm expecting this to be another bloody one, and another one that's going to come down to who gets ahead off of these skirmishes.
Yeah, the set pick is a really interesting one. It's something we don't see that often, so...
I mean, yeah, I think into Scion, I'm a big fan of Scion. It's just top tier tank. You know, you get so much health. You're so tanky. You're such a beefy front line. So much utility with the knockup potential. And ultimately just building space, which is what Hashira haven't had for themselves. Counter pick wise, Set has a chance at disrupting that. You know, I think of other counter picks, you know, maybe the Ambessa is something you look at. I don't know if it's something Matthias is comfortable on, or if they just wanted something that had a little more team fight boom alongside the rest of their comp. But Set, definitely a nice traditional kind of off meta counter pick, but Nothing new for Matthias. A little bit off meta. So I like what I'm seeing out of the counter pick. I think it'll just be interesting to see in practice is can this set, push the Scion back? Because I feel like you, at least in the first two games, has at the very least been getting the push. Game one maybe a bit more punished, just due to some unlucky tower shots. But he's been getting the push in the lane and forcing Matthias under tower. Does that change with the counter pick of the set? That will be kind of what I'm looking to see.
Yeah. I just again, I kind of go back to where like Coinflip has to be very skill expressive and pick and choosy of when to use certain skills. They do have like their more powerful buttons have a much longer cooldown. They're not much to like cycle through to where Nico has the ult into a snare. You have Caitlyn trapped that could potentially combo off that. Jarvan can make the first move to set up Caitlyn traps. Like I think there's even though there's like Nocturne, Orianna, Rakan, I feel like Hashira's setup is a lot more cohesiveness to where Coinflip, if they use one button wrong, it's a really big feels bad moment. Or if Set doesn't get the right angle on pelting Scion back into the team, it's also a feels bad there, and you're just kind of left out to dry in that regard. But yeah, this is again going to be another fun and exciting one.
That it will be.
So
into game we go. I think another thing to keep in mind too is can Coinflip find another level 1 advantage for themselves? Force a flash somewhere, do something like that. I am going to ask, I think scoreboard got a little missorted there. If you're able to reorder that.
Yes, I did have to tab out real quick, so here we go with that. Alright, we are tabbed back in. I had to pull our fine chat up. Scoreboard, let's rearrange that. Yep, that's it. Alright, cool. Yeah, again, I'm looking at, kind of one thing to note, the bot lane. I think Bori's had some picks that are very, very good at like creating their own opportunities. Xayah not so much, but the team comp played against her allowed her a lot more opportunities for that. And and kind of the feather pullbacks and trades here to where Ziggs just needs stuff set up for him. Rakan does a very good job at that, but I'm kind of curious, and I'll bounce it off your head, being the bot lane aficionado here. What do you think about these two lanes? Excuse me.
In theory, this Nico Caitlyn should be able to run over lane. This is two of the strongest individual laners in bot lane right now, and you put them together, just with the range that they have, they should be able to get the push. Ziggs is a champion that's okay sitting back and farming safely, though. So I really want to see Deborah and Tengen kind of push the pace of that bot lane, walk up, contest minions, try to proc the Guardian, try to get some good poke onto the Rakan Ziggs. Not looking like the case right now, but you can see even with losing the health war battle, still able to get the push just with all that range. So I want to see them continue to do so, try to chip away at some plates. Because that helps take away Ziggs' game plan of, rushing down towers. See how they're able to do that. Root's going to go wide, but if you're ever able to connect on one of those as well, that's going to be a buttload of damage too. So lots to keep an eye on in the bot lane. A little bit volatile if Deborah and Tengen misstep, but overall it should go in their favor.
And I see an early push here out of Arresto putting the ward on the Raptors here. So they know Jarvan is clearing bot to top here. See how they use this information.
Yeah, I will say Matthias is doing an okay job of getting the push from what I've seen. Electrocute pop in from Guillaume. I think that Akali into the Ori is going to be a fun matchup to watch as well. Guillaume has had the upper hand in the last game, early on, and this time going for something even more scrappy in the Akali, expecting more of the same to happen.
Ooh, nice trade from Matthias up top here.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ever going to get to the point where he really kills the Scion, at least this early, you know, until maybe some items come in. Do you want to see like something like a Bork come out for just the 1v1 or something more team fight oriented, like a bruiser item?
I think Bork has a world. I'm thinking, you know, on the split push in the 1v1, but also if he ever pelts Scion back in and gets on top of the Caitlyn, the Bork speed boost that he can proc is has some uses there. So I mean I don't see anything wrong with the Bork here, but I also like you could just go Stride Breaker and have more of an AOE slow. That I think is pretty useful, and then, I mean, maybe just go in the Hull Breaker.
Matthias, another good trade. And so, yeah, Deborah and Tengen, they're not able to hold the push here. And this is big for Bori as well. He has TP, but a gank in the top side from Akaza. Matthias, a bit overextended here. Flashes out, but a flash chase from Akaza. Gonna be enough to pick that one up. Scion using the flash as well. But Bori is feasting in this bot lane. Tengen going dangerously low. Baited me a bit, you know, being that lower health Caitlyn. But the
Oh, and they're gonna try and stay.
They have TP, so they're chilling. This Ziggs can get the push and TP on back. This is looking very nice for the bot lane of Coinflip. Hashira not getting the advantage I think they expected or wanted from this Caitlyn Nico combo.
Oh. Okay.
Oh my gosh, Deborah.
Please back.
Yeah, has the barrier up, but like you just gotta. It sucks, you know, especially playing this winning lane. But you just gotta eat a wave, take the recall, and try to answer back later on. Jarvan's gonna be able to pick up some of those minions. Akaza, right place, right time. So you're not losing, you know, too much on the map at the very least. But that's gonna give over the location of the Jarvan. Let Matthias.
Oh, hello.
A little more. Oh, Tengen was a minion.
Oh,
falling pretty low.
I did not catch that.
Nico. Baited the casters as well. GeoPro still has the flash here. Akaza still giving chase. EQ comes on through. Flag and for the kill, and a kill on the top side as well. Scion answering back. Flash from Bori, but the heal from Tengen was still up. And now Deborah Morgan in the area trying to bait Brandino in to give chase. Akaza flag and dragging out. Tengen flashing out. And so great play from Hashira. Entering a little bit of a flow state. Some breathing forms perchance activated. As Nico with some very creative plays, baiting GeoPro and the entire cast. As Rakan falls down, Akaza picking up some more kills, and Gyu with a solo kill on the top side. Off of the counterpicked matchup as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of the pressure brought up from Akuza. I mean, we see it in the bot lane, but then I think that's also what created the opportunity up top side as well for the counter pick here. And now we see Gyu almost, I mean, he's really close to being done with the Sunfire already. And Bori's TP coming in handy there off of the reset here. Does have the Lost Chapter. And Deborah going for the call here, so just trying to curve into this mid game quite well. Roa coming out on Arresto here. I don't see the Tear of the Goddess yet, so may not go the full Roa tier build, but I think it's very useful here.
Akaza in the top side, looking for the fight as Matthias scrapping in the 1 versus 2. Does have the Haymaker up. Goes for the ulti first into the Haymaker combo. Q falls low, but with the unstoppable onslaught knocking the set up under tower. It's another kill back to the Hashira. They're doing well in this early game. Tengen, we got to start counting these minions.
I didn't start counting them, shit!
He's got an angle. Yeah, the Wii was me too. That was taking me for surprise yet again, but a good flash out from Aristotle keeps him alive. And Coinflip, they're going to answer back with the first Drake. They've been great at dragon stacking when they get the chance. Brandino picking that one up for himself. And now level 6 on the Nocturne. That's going to be something to watch on a few of the flashless members. of Hashira. But other than that, Coinflip find themselves at a bit of a deficit in this early game. And Hashira have been doing a great job pushing leads, mostly through that top side. Yet again, Akaza finding windows, Gyu finding windows.
Yeah, I mean overall this is easily the best early game Hashira has had this whole series, and Akuza kind of just reminding people that hey, he's an MVP candidate for a reason, and just making so much happening all over this map.
Yep, we'll see if how that lead transitions into the mid game though. That's where Coinflip have really had Hashira's number. Ulti coming in onto the Akali. The Orianna ult over top does connect.
Oh?
Ulti flash out. Brandino not going to be able to close the gap for the auto.
Q
Still going
coming
to
out
give chase though, as the Shuriken flip does buy enough space. Akali so slippery. Guillaume able to walk out of that one with his self intact. Is going to lose a little bit of pressure in the mid lane. TP down for a little longer, so going to stick around while that comes up. And GeoPro and Bori still getting the push in this bot lane, answering back a bit. That's the hope for Coinflip right now, is this Ziggs.
Yeah, yet again we see Bori creating some leads here in the bot lane, but oh, okay, they're gonna give this to Guillaume? I think you gotta E back. Nope.
He's not gonna risk it.
No,
Doesn't
didn't
want
want
to
to
get
risk it.
popped by that Orianna combo. Respectable enough, but Akaza picking up a third kill. Getting involved in the map, but that's not necessarily where you want the kills here, so something to keep in mind is Bori pops Tengen, and Mega Inferno Bomb not even needed. This bot lane, the hope of Coinflip, coming to life here as Brandino's paying visit to the top lane as well. Unstoppable Onslaught comes on through, forces Matthias to flash out, and Brandino trying to shred through this Scion, does pick up the bounty, so a little bit answered back from Coinflip. 10 minutes in, that's officially mid-game, and so Coinflip coming online. And crucially though, the Ziggs, how far ahead can this little Yordle bomber get? Power getting chunked already a lot. Going to be able to walk up and use that satchel charge to knock that one down. And then it's just a matter of keeping himself alive through a very potent dive of Jarvan Akali. See how Bori navigates that one. That's just something I want to draw attention to, for something to keep our eyes on.
Yeah, Bori going with a Luden's companion here is quite interesting. I think with everything coming at you, Blackfire has probably a lot more use, but oh, look at this trade here. Okay, Guillaume, I see you.
Yeah, Akali doing well. I think until that Roa comes in from Orianna, survivability's a bit tough, so Aristotle gotta watch his footwork. Flash coming up in a little bit, but while that's down, Guillaume still has another window to punish. Dragon up in a minute 20. I'm expecting that to be our next little bout of actions. Till then, both junglers continuing to farm. Notably, Brandino, 94 CS on the Nocturne, keeping very good pace. With Akaza, who's been on the map a lot. But it's here. It's Spearmental Hexplate already in for the Nocturne. Big pickup should any fight break up.
Yeah. Oh my lord, this is Ziggs. Okay.
Yeah, Luden's in. No item for the Caitlyn yet either. Where is the Nico? They're counting minions. This time they see the 4. Got our eyes on it. Akaza in the top side as well, so Bori and GeoPro going to be able to just walk on up and continue to lay in the pressure onto this bot lane, continuing to siege. Brandino going for the recall as Dragon is up in 30. So gonna fade away towards that bot side. Bori GeoPro continuing to lay siege. Bit of a wave state game right now, but Dragon up soon.
Oh, but Akuza is being patient here, but Guillaume though.
Yeah, R2 is going to be popped, flashed away from Aristotle. But Blast comes over, dodges out on the ulti, but GeoPro's in the area. Chain CC comes on through, but the Blast Cone as well. The Akali's slippery, but not slippery enough, as a kill once again going over to Bore. Right in front of the Dragon as well, so Coinflip turning towards that and going to be able to pick that one up unless Akaza goes for some heroics.
He's in that part of the map here, but I don't think it's worth it. I mean, it is unfortunate that you give over the second dragon. Oh, but Gyu getting the aggro here.
Yeah, under tower with the Sunfire, forced to flash out. Great angle from Matthias to recognize that.
Nice
and
patience.
Better angle from Akaza to line up the kill. 4th kill on the Jarvan.
Oh my
Glory
lord.
continuing to lay into Deborah. You know, this ADC of Hashira has just not had a very playable series, and it doesn't look like that's changing for Game 3, even despite the fact that they gave him this power pick bot lane.
Yeah, Oppenheimer showing up this game here.
Ulti in the top side, though, and Akaza waiting around. This time his patience is going to be rewarded. Gyu picking up another kill. This Scion is running over the counter pick of the set.
You have potential feats here. The Scion push. You have 3 grubs. Plus what I assume is Demolish. Actually, no Demolish on him. But still, this is going to be first turret and feats of strength for Hashira. So still up almost now 2k gold here with that.
Nice pickup. And if there's anywhere you want the lead, it's definitely this Scion. You know, going to be a reliable front line. Ward off any of this poke that Bori throws on through, who has a bit of an aggressive TP, but Brandino and GeoPro in the area, they pounce instantly, force the flash out. Mega Inferno Bomb falls a bit short.
Nice.
Morgan
Okay.
fight this one back with the traps, trading really aggressively, but it's not going to be enough. The autos find their mark for the Ziggs. Gyu still crushing it in the top side, but Bori and the rest of the squad able to give a 4th kill over to that Ziggs. Matthias trading with Gyu pretty aggressively. These long fights are where the set can excel. A few more autos will do it. Flashes over the decimating smash, but the shield comes through for Gyu. Ulti showstopper from the set is enough, but the Scion passive failing on away for a trade kill. So still non-stop action, and gold kind of evening up here for the side of Coinflip. But this set is still just a menace. Or sorry, the Scion rather is still a menace. 2 items to 1. You can look at the lead the Scion has. Going to continue to steamroll in this 1v1. Coinflip, you know, they're trying to look for angles on the rest of the map, but will it be enough in the face of this Scion Jarvan, who have been otherwise running the game for Hashira?
Okay, I have a small little thing about what Hashira did. While you were talking, Akuza upgraded his boots, but at one point in time, for about the last 2 minutes, they had feats of strength, but no upgraded boots. Like, come on, guys.
Now, yeah, all tier 1 boots.
Like, missing out on free stats here. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, even I just value boots, space boots in general. Like, helps you with map movement, helps you with mobility, really lets you have a little more agency in how you play the game. But Rift Herald started up. No TP on Akali and TP on Matthias. So see if that's something Coinflip have tracked. And, you know, maybe look to skirmish with the potential numbers advantage they could have for themselves. But objective not being started up, Akali forced to roam up. Coinflip recognizing the missing mid laner of Hashira. Gonna back up, pay a little respect, and let Matthias continue to split push. Rift Herald started up. Plenty of health, though, and plenty of time for Coinflip to contest, as Bori getting a little bit of poke down before the objective falls too low. 2 items on that Ziggs, 4-0. He's the hurt for the side of Coinflip. Can they get onto him? As Trigger's going to be called by Coinflip first. Deborah Morgan gets popped. In comes the Nico, but not going to find any crucial carries. And Coinflip are just going to run over this fight. They pounce first, and they pick up 3. Scion passive, once it falls, is going to be that official 3rd kill, and no one on Coinflip dropping. I mean, what a sweep, CLT.
Yeah, I thought it was quite interesting. I was looking at the bot lane and knew there was TP advantage on Matthias here, but Akali was on his screen. I was kind of expecting a little bit of wackiness of like Akali E following the TP, but Guillaume did not pull the trigger on that. And the fight just started to fall apart there from Hashira due to the numbers. But Bori now, 2 items here, 5-0-1. You know, we said something about playoff Bori. I think it's starting to become a thing here, but Here's the fight back. Oh my lord!
See from Akaza, the Cataclysm is just that, cataclysmic to the success of Hashira. They find their way back in and dragging up an 8. They're going to be able to clap back with an objective here. Akaza, when the team is on the down and out, they find the window and overextending Coinflip, get punished this time from a great collapse. TP's coming in from the Hashira. This game isn't over yet.
No, it is not. And we see Coinflip took about a 600-700 gold lead. Might have been a touch more than that, but then Hashira making the right moves to bring it back here. So they do not want to go down into the losers bracket just yet here.
Yeah, without the Ziggs for Coinflip, there's just no shot that they win these fights. It's all the damage really right now on Bori. So Akaza, I think maybe recognizing that, pulling the trigger. Ziggs was on recall. You know, now almost 3 items. That is still quite a scary Ziggs. Still has the flash up as well. So need to find a way to punish that and find the jump onto that. But until that happens, Coinflip gonna be sitting pretty in these fights. Brandino has been the one to start off these fights first. And great follow-up from the rest of the Coinflip squad. So somehow the script needs to be flipped. Otherwise, Hashira are staring down the eyes of a comfortable little broom for Coinflip.
Yeah, the one thing I'm seeing through, like, kind of been the story of the series, as we just see Matthias. Oh, okay, you guys can just punch the hell out of each other. Is Coinflip? Coinflip is making the first move on a lot of these fight. Yep. Okay. Now we got a TP out of Bori here. Oh! Nice stun.
Not going to have enough damage. Set's going to fall first, but Ziggs is in the area. He's looking to clap back. The burn's going to be enough to kill the Scion. Akali jumping in onto Bori, but the charm from GeoPro keeping his bot laner alive for now.
Oh, Akaza!
In the midst of a lot of action, tries to flash out. Staying alive for the meantime, in comes Aristotle. Finds the kill onto Jarvan. Pengen gets the Pop Blossom onto the Ziggs. Forced to flash out though. The root connects. In comes Akali. Gets the kill onto the Ziggs. And the rest of the action breaking out should be in favor of
missed the Q.
Hashira. Flash forward from Deborah Morgan looking for chase, but it's awfully slow.
Yeah.
Aristotle
okay.
But the Peacemaker finds its mark. And Hashira find the angle, punishing Matthias first. And then Bori just a big cutout, even with the flash, not able to stay alive with the peel that GeoPro lays in over top. And Hashira, 2 successful fights in a row. They are not going down without a fight.
Matthias stalled for so long in that fight that I thought oh, okay, bye GeoPro. I completely lost my thought there. Yeah, he stalled so much time in there that Brandino and TPs came in. GeoPro had an insane recon ult, but then the turnaround flash ult by Akuza and then Guillaume on this Akali in the backline is causing so much hell here. That's kind of what I've wanted to see out of Hashira's comp, is you picked a lot of dive in backline access, but you're not doing the best job making the first move. But their responses to these fights are pretty good so far, and they have the tools to respond to it, unlike what I thought they drafted in games 1 and 2.
Yeah, I like that angle of analysis there. You know, that's a fight. I think part of the reason it was so successful is because of how messy it was. You know, that's where Akali and Jarvan can kind of shine, just jumping in and out. Not this structured team fight front to back. It lets them get in, and I think that was the first Pop Blossom that we've seen onto the Ziggs, and it pays off well for them. You know, they're able to pop him. Ziggs not able to stay in this prolonged fight and get all that damage down that we've seen in other fights. And we don't have those fancy LCK graphics, but I'm sure he's been pumping out like multiple thousands of damage each fight.
Yeah.
I'm not able to find that angle, and so Hashira clapping back very well, you know, playing these messy team fights well, on the right track, coordinated, but Coinflip once again pouncing. Guillaume trying to dash his way on out, but he's going in the wrong direction. And with Ziggs giving chase to follow, should be able to cut off any angle here. GeoPro a bit short on the grand entrance. For the
nice big one! Oh my lord!
Turn right back around is Matthias. with the set ulti.
Okay.
Finds the angle to shut down any excitement that we just had for Hashira. Crowd silencer. As Otacon right there in front of them, they're going to be able to start that one up. And Coinflip once again finding these fights in front of the objectives.
Yeah. I don't know who Matthias grabbed and dunked, but that did so much damage to
I think it was
Deborah
just
there.
the Nico and just shutting off that what initially looked like a phenomenal engage out of Tengen. That was a 4-man Pop Blossom. But somehow Matthias got the showstopper off in time, going unstoppable and shutting down any of the root follow-up that Tengen would have otherwise had. And that is a game-winning play. Turned right back around into a game-winning play for the other side. They're picking up a tower to boot. Coinflip finding themselves back in the driver's seat with a gold lead. Dragon up in 45, the next big fight for both of these sides, but gold still relatively even. It's going to be a matter of if Akaza and Guillaume can find their way onto Bori, still flashless on this Ziggs. That is where my eyes are going to be at for this next fight.
Yeah, that is also what I am looking at. The Ziggs going to Luden's companion is pretty ballsy into a lot of the dive that's there, so I think they can have... Oh! Okay!
Ooh, there's the Nocturne Oriana, though.
Thanks for playing the game, Deborah.
Nothing Deborah can do. It's such a miserable spot to be in. The follow-up engage. Big Mega...
Oh! There's a decent Pop Blossom!
Answer back, but it's not going to be enough. Bori still staying untouched. Akaza forced to retreat. Flag and drag out. The rest of his team already dead. Giyu, tanky as he is, doesn't have enough through 4. And Coinflip sweeping the fight. Once again, Brandino starting things off. And the rest of Coinflip finding their way in. Bori now 10-1 on this Ziggs. They're going to be able to pick up sole point for themselves, even with no jungler.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned it, that if I do like the combo coming out of Coinflip if they use their cooldowns correctly, and Brandino has not strayed away from just going. You know, you can either say he's running it, sprinting it, or he's just absolutely creating opportunities for his team. In this game, his team's right behind him again. So this is man.
It's Nocturne Oriana, and you see this mid jungle, Brandino and Aristotle, lots of games together across the season, across a few splits now. They have no hesitation just pulling that trigger instantly. The minute Deborah shows up, that Caitlyn just does not get to play the game.
Nope.
And the rest of the Hashira just don't have a way in to punish Bori after that. They're not able to get on top of the Ziggs, with the numbers disadvantage. And that's been the story of this game so far. When they do find those angles, the fights look great for them. They're able to get their wombo combo off, but the Pop Blossoms, they hit multiple members. There's just not enough follow-up through the rest of the dive. And gold is still close, so if they can still find this angle onto the Ziggs, it's still possible, but it just gets tougher and tougher by the moment. As Rabadons is coming in, the Ziggs is going to have so much damage, and Flash is back up as well. So, very tough to punish Bori, who's been positioning stellar so far all game. Brandino looking for some action in the bot side.
Oh, Guillaume!
Fall a little short this time with Guillaume having a great flash out. Chase going to be good. And this time, Hashira starting up the Baron.
That's kind of ballsy.
But it's risky. Knockup dodged away from by Deborah. She's in the pit, able to hit free this time. Bori forced back by Akaza. And now Matthias in a 1 versus 3. Deborah getting shredded down by the Baron. Tengen looking for the fight. Pop Blossom not going to find its mark. And Matthias, though, isolated. Deborah forced to flash out.
No!
Not like this. Bori, Satchel charging himself away, repositioning with the rest of his team. And action is going to break out. My voice is at its very limit. These fights are going back and forth for so long. But Coinflip yet again landing themselves on top. Keep flipping it up their way. Mega Inferno Bomb going to be a little bit short as the Akali's going to be able to make a way out. Brandino just barely staying alive. Akaza's still in the area though. So I don't know if Coinflip want to start up this Baron.
Please don't hit it.
But they once again find a way to punish. I mean, tough scenes for Deborah. Akaza still in the area. Flag will give the vision. 10k on the Baron. Can he find his way in? 9k. He's sticking around. He's going to look for it. He's kind of the only hope that Hashira have right now. It's a one-way mission. TP coming in from Akali, 3K on the Baron. It is going to be just that. It's going to be a...
Oh, he steals it!
So he steals the Baron. Guillaume in the area as well, but he's just going to watch his jungler fall down. Going for the recall. Doesn't quite have the angle. This Akali continuing to play this slippery game.
My!
It's on the board, but doesn't quite have enough damage. Would have been a huge kill pickup for the Akali. So one thing going their way on Hashira. One thing just barely not enough damage from Akali. And CLT, I mean, help me break down what we just saw in a crazy last few minutes of action.
Oh, but his Brandino coming in here, jumping on the Deborah. I mean, you're just not being able to play the series. This is... Oh, and there's the Shockwave at it again here. And now they're pushing the mid-inhib here. Gyu trying to do his best to stall this wave out. Yeah, no carries are up here. Baron only on to Tengen right now. Redemption does come down to heal them. And it looks like they've thwarted this push just this time here. Akuza posturing, but, you know, you've already done your work here with the Baron steal. Let's not push this. Oh, Matthias, though, looking at behind, pelting him into the rest of the team. This Jarvan is fairly tanky, but Bori does more damage. And you can imagine right now. Oh, nice Pop Blossom. But just not enough here. Guillaume trying to do his best to access the backline. Double kill on the Brandino here. And this game just it's impossible for them to slow it down right now. Baron is off the map. All the Baron buffs are off of Hashira right now here. Oh, ult comes out. Oh my lord. That was just the side of the ult too.
It's just
Deborah
wave, and now it's just
oh my god.
Not able to play the game at all. Bori going for his 15th kill. And all things coming up Coinflip's way as they march their way towards a dominant 3-0. All these games under the 30-minute mark. They're coming in with a statement and looking to claim title for Best of Midwest, and they are on their way doing so with a great series here.
Yeah, what a... Holy shit. That game just never gave us a chance to really dive into it last 5-6 minutes here. What an entertaining series overall. These teams went back and forth, and Coinflip gets the revenge from the regular season here, as they did fall 2-1 to the Hashira, but this time they send the Hashira to the losers bracket here to face the loser of our other series on the Twitch channel between Jellyfish and Instinct here. So, wow, I loved a lot of what the Hashira drafted, but the story for this whole series for me is the bot lane of Coinflip here. Bori just having himself an absolute insane series, but I felt like Brandino specifically created a lot of moments down there in the bot lane and just kind of got them jump started. And then it was, you know, Bori take me to the promised land a little bit there. Deborah just not getting focus fired a lot this series. And I know they really have a pretty talented bot lane as well, but just the Bori Geo Prow show along with Brandino here. But, I mean, I still can't discredit the rest of the Coinflip lineup as well. Man, what a series overall.
Yeah, I mean, Hashira, they had great early games spearheaded by Akaza. All 3 games today. You know, Guillaume showing up as well in that mid lane 1v1, usually able to draw pressure. Same with Gyu, but you're pointing to all of Coinflip for good reason, because those mid-game skirmishes made the difference. Brandino was a big part in that. You know, don't let the KD fool you in those first 2 games. He was the one getting these fights started off, and then the rest of Coinflip, when they're on, they just play so in sync, and they're so together on their fights, on their dive. That's part of the reason why this game was so tough for Deborah Morgan. You know, they're just diving on your 80 carry, and it's so snappy that unless you're able to match that or build enough of a lead up elsewhere, you just can't quite make it happen. And we have Brandino joining us probably for an interview. Am I right, CLT?
That is correct, my friend. Brandino, how do you feel after that series?
This is one of the closest 3-0s I've ever played in my life. This team is very, very good. I don't know, if you look at the score, you're like, oh, 3-0, must have been one-sided. It was not in my opinion. I mean, we got big leads eventually, but like these games were, I think we lost all 3 early games.
I think it's fair to say that, yeah, the early games, especially through Akaza,
I don't know.
were dominated by Hashira.
There's a 3-0 Zai at about 6 minutes of game one. And I don't know if I would agree fully with that.
Well, if you remember how that happened, that Xayah had to 1v2 within very low margins versus Ivern and Jinx, I think, in order to get that. She gets
It's
it,
true.
so Bori is an MVP. But like also like if he doesn't get that, then we just like lost a lot early.
That is true.
I had what I thought was a good invade versus Ivern there, but then I overplayed my hand. So
Yeah, I will gladly watch you two teams specifically play any time of the day. Like that looked fun to watch. Let alone I can imagine how much fun knowing you guys as well as I do. How fun that is for you guys.
thank you. Yeah,
So
it's a banger versus this team. They play a mean early game. Their jungler likes to invade a lot. Their support likes to pair up with them on invade timings, or their top laner likes to do it if their top laner has invade timing. There's always early game invades and a lot of fights, so I look forward to that, but I'm also horrified. Like, am I going to just turn the corner and get one shot? I don't know half the time. We have to do a lot of tracking to make sure that this doesn't turn south early. But yeah, I think that, the other thing I was looking at is I noticed that they took a lot of picks from our team, I think. Like, it looked like that they wanted to focus on a lot of. They took the Ivern. The Ivern.
yeah,
Yeah, that's it. That's the only pick that I was worried about. They took it.
yeah, they took it, and I mean, I didn't feel like that was like the most Hashira pick. I know their jungler, like you said, loves to invade, loves to be aggressive, but then you kind of pulled that onto them the game one. But I mean, this was probably the most coin flipped I've seen you guys this split. Was there anything you like focused on coming into this playoffs, or wanted to practice to just get prepared, get sharp?
Hmm. Of the things we've shown, yes, well, there are a couple of things we practiced. I think that we're trying to prep for a 5-game series because I thought at least this is going to go 5 games. So we have some things in mind, but we only went 3 games, so there's only so many chances that we could play today. One of the things you saw here was Nocturnal. We got to play that today. That was one of the things that we prepped, and I like that. Aside from that, a lot of these picks that I'm looking throughout it, I think we played Bard. I don't know if Bard's been played a lot in our past, but it's mostly standard stuff that we've played. Like I think most of these champs have been seen before. I was kind of surprised when they played the Ivern. I wasn't expecting it. I was also surprised about the Vayne. The Vayne threw me for a loop. I was like, oh boy, we're either in for it or they're in for it. I don't know which. We're gonna find out in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that game looked like that was going to be really hard for you guys to play. Especially, I felt like they might have put in a game or two in that Silas prepping it into Aresto's Swain, as I know that's a prominent pick he loves to go to.
I've always had this opinion of Silas. It's written on his passive somewhere, but you can't see it. It says, "I will have the most kills on my team every single game, either the most deaths or 0 deaths." You don't know which. Well, let's roll the dice.
Well, Nexus, you got anything for him, my friend?
Not too much. I mean, I think he hit on most of my thoughts on the series with, don't let the score of the games or, how quickly the games ended fool you into just how close it was. I think Hashira's early games are really devastating, especially around their solo laners and their top side, MVP candidate Akaza. I think Coinflip played very well against it, and it was ultimately just some great skirmishing from you guys. So I'll look forward to the future here. Any thoughts on this potential Femboy Jellyfish versus Instinct matchup? Anything you're looking forward to there?
This is a repeat of finals from last split. So if y'all remember last split, it was that, and I think it went 3-2. I want to say
It did.
And Femboys won. So I'm hoping for more of that magic. I haven't seen enough of Femboys games, And so I know more about what Instinct is probably going to do. So I'm really just looking to see them bash brains and show me some good finals League of Legends, so that then when we meet them in finals, they get to play another set of finals in League of Legends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all set to let you get to watching that. You have anything before closing us out, CLT?
No. I thought both teams absolutely played insane, but this was I doubted the flip there. I did predict Hashira, but I think double elimination is going to be a lot of fun. Whoever Hashira gets in the bottom bracket, or whoever you guys get, it's only going to get tougher as these playoffs go, which is what exactly we wanted to happen. So I see the series on Twitch is still going on here, so I will let everybody go and go over to that series, as I'm curious to see what the score is. But yeah, I mean, congrats, Brandino. I thought this was the sharpest you guys in Coinflip looked all split, and I can't wait to see what if you guys do get 5 games, what you're gonna give us.
Yeah, GG's. Hashira played extremely well, and I would not be surprised at all if I see them make the run through the losers bracket. I think they are extremely strong, and so if any team is looking for like, oh, this team's just like we can just brush it off and prepare for like the next round, like you're just gonna get stomped. These teams are strong.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 100% with you there, my friend. So. Well,
Thank you.
I will let you go. I appreciate the post game interview. Congrats on the 3-0, and yeah, man, good luck in the future.
Thank you. GG's.
GG's. All right. Well, I think we are good here. Do you have any last words for a very active chat over here on the YouTube?
Yeah, I think just some good sportsmanship. Always nice to see at the end there, but nothing much. It was a great series. I think you can hear it in at least my voice. Definitely strained. So very fun to watch, and looking forward to what is bound to be some more bangers coming forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of said this in my prediction. I haven't went back and heard Hairwick yet, but I think these are the four best teams. No offense to the other teams that made the playoffs, or even the teams who were really close to it. But yeah, the fact that we have double elim with the 4 best teams, this is going to be so fun to watch. So that is that's for myself and the GOAT Nexis, which is always a pleasure casting with, my friend. We are going to sign off here. And as I can already see some of the Coinflip guys in Nexus, we'll see you over in the Twitch chat for to watch the end of that series. So